It's almost 11 a.m. Eastern Time, and it's high time for us to start. But before we start, I would like to ask you, please let me know if you can hear and see both of us, okay, in the chat box. Guys, everyone, attendees, please let us know that you can hear us well. The sound is not choppy, it's not too loud, and everything is okay. Ashley, Paul, Anneline, Natalie, everyone. Hello, everyone. Guys, where are you from? Let us know. We have 1 minute more before the summit starts. Okay, Chicago. Okay. So I'm in Auckland, New Zealand, Atlanta. Katie, where are you from?
I'm based in Toronto, in Canada.
Canada, Toronto, Paris, Glasgow, so many countries. Okay,
Wow.
guys, please keep doing. Yes, and I will quit my mailbox, definitely, like right now. Okay, so good morning, good afternoon, and good night, everyone. So it's for the second time that PromoRepublic has gathered like two hemispheres, yes, two hemispheres for one virtual e-commerce summit. It's a pleasure for me to see so many people, to see so many webinar attendees, and it's an honor for me uh, to be together with five incredible speakers from e-commerce worlds. Okay, so Katie from Shopify, Cody from WordPress. Then we have me, Ali. Yes, I am a chief content marketer for PromoRepublic. John from WooCommerce and David from Ninja Outreach. Just a bit of housekeeping for you to understand so what's going on, okay? We will have five speakers, five presentations, one after another, okay? And at the end of each presentation, guys, you will have 15 minutes for questions and answers. So if you have a question, please wait till the end of the presentation. Or if it's something urgent, okay, you have a chat box. Here it is below, below my slide, our slide. So feel free to ask your question. You'll also see Paul from PromoRepublic. He's my friend and colleague, and Paul will help us with any technical issue or with any possible question you may have. Okay, so let's start. Katie Hudson, affiliate manager from PromoRepublic, and Katie will
From
tell us
Shopify.
how. Yes, I'm sorry, from Shopify. So it's a nice beginning.
Yeah.
So yes, Katie Hudson from Shopify, and she will tell us how to grow. Yes, how to grow with e-commerce. So Katie works, if I'm right, but I'm sure I am. So Katie works closely with the course creators, bloggers, marketers, and more to develop key pieces of content in order to educate and grow the next generation of international entrepreneurs. Katie, the floor is yours.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Wow, this is so exciting. It's amazing to see everyone joining in from all over the world. Thank you so much for joining us today. I think Ali is going to switch over my slides, so I'll just wait for her to do that, and then we will get started. There we go. Awesome. Thanks, Ali. Yeah, so thank you again for joining today. It's amazing to be a part of this very cool virtual summit. There's going to be some incredible speakers today, so I'm really excited for everyone. Hoping you can learn a ton, just absorb all the information, and I'm hoping it will help you whether you are applying this for your clients or if you're applying this for your own side hustle or business. I hope that you will find it really helpful. So today my presentation is about 10xing your growth with e-commerce. So really what I want to achieve today is to help you have a solid understanding and base of what the world of e-commerce is like, what the opportunities are, how to get started, what are, can you even sell online? You know, it's always changing, and so we'll talk about that. We'll talk about some inventory strategies and sort of the 3 basic keys to success to get started, and we'll talk about the tools in which you can do that. So before we get started, Ali obviously gave a very nice introduction, so thank you for that. But I'll do my own as well. So As mentioned, my name is Katie Hudson. I'm an affiliate manager at Shopify, and I actually specifically focus on Latin America and Spain. I've been at Shopify now for about 3 years, and I've been on the partnerships team for the last year and a bit. And I've been in the e-commerce space for 6 or 7 years now, which is crazy. Prior to Shopify, I was working as the head of marketing for an e-commerce agency based here in Toronto. So I'm currently broadcasting live from Toronto in Canada. It's very snowy here, so hopefully wherever you are, maybe you have some nice weather. If you're on a beach or if you're near the ocean, I'm very jealous. So I see I have a friend somewhere in Germany, Johannes. And so if you have snow, you and I are on the same level. So I've been, as I mentioned, in the e-commerce game for about 6 years, working for an e-commerce agency previously to Shopify. And before that, I was actually living in Colombia, where I was working for a consulting firm, helping tech startups create their business plans, their go-to-market strategies, etc. So that was like my first taste of tech. And I love being in this industry. It's constantly changing. It's so interesting. And I think there's no better time to get into e-commerce than now. And so I'm going to take you through that a little bit. I'll be talking more about Shopify a little bit later, but to give you sort of a brief, quick intro, in case you're unfamiliar with the company. So we are the largest commerce platform in the world, and we help people power their businesses. So whether you are selling online, in person, or anywhere where your customers are, our software and physical hardware devices help you do that. So we're here to inspire the next generation of entrepreneurs, help businesses of all sizes start, grow, and ultimately be successful. So starting off, I want to talk about what are the opportunities even around the world when it comes to e-commerce, and to help sort of frame your thinking of how big and how many opportunities there are to actually take advantage of. So theoretically speaking, the opportunities are endless. We have over 4.2 billion people in the world now who have internet connections, so who are internet users, which is actually over 53% of the world's population. So if you take a moment to just think about how many people that is incredible. So what this really means is that, we're spending more time online, and there's more opportunity for marketers, for business owners to capture the attention of people from all over the world, because now more than ever, people have internet connections. So even something as simple as digital ad spend has actually surpassed physical ad spend, and also TV ad spend. So the traditional forms of media are sort of decreasing in their amount of ad spend because digital is taking over, because that's where everyone is. We all have our devices super close to us at all times, whether that's a laptop or a cell phone, and we're constantly connected. So the ability to be connected to people all around the world is a huge, huge opportunity. So really that means that digital marketing is a must for your business. And also if you are selling products or even services, e-commerce comes into that. And so we're going to talk more. You can even see, I have a stat here that the amount of time spent in the US every single day is about 6.5 hours on the internet. And what's interesting is that obviously the US is a huge country, huge population, about 10 times the size of Canada. We're only 30 million, and there's over 300 million people in the US. But this amount of time spent on the internet is actually only spot number 20. So it's not the highest. And the highest amount of time spent online is actually in Thailand. They have the record for about 9.5 hours, followed by the Philippines and then Brazil, which is super interesting. So while the US spends a huge portion of their day online, it's actually only spot number 20. And there are tons of other countries who are actually spending even more time online. And these stats were compiled from We Are Social. They just released a really interesting set of reports where they measure everything about the web, about how much time people spend online, how many people are connected, what are they doing, their habits. So if you ever have a chance to check it out, I'd really recommend it. So I'm just going to the next slide here. Skipped ahead a little bit. So really, let's start with the basics. I want to make sure that everyone's on the same level of understanding. Some people might already be well versed in sort of the world of e-commerce, and other people are just getting started. So starting with this big question, like what is e-commerce? And obviously, e-commerce stands for electronic commerce. And really, its true definition is the use of the internet, the web, and mobile apps to conduct digitally enabled commercial transactions between organizations and individuals for an exchange of value, which is really interesting. So not necessarily money. Money is usually the value that we exchange for a product or a service, but it doesn't have to be money. It just has to be something of value. So whether you're selling through a store of your own with a platform like Shopify, or perhaps you even use a marketplace, e-commerce is this collection of this commercial activity where products and services are exchanged, and it's usually exchanged for this money. So what's interesting about e-commerce is that you might have seen e-commerce and you might have seen even the term commerce. If you were listening carefully at the beginning, I explained Shopify as a commerce platform. However, when the company first started, we started as just an e-commerce platform. So there's been a lot of transition and change obviously happening within our space. And so what's really happened is that we've actually cut off the E within this industry, and now we really refer to things as just commerce, because there used to be a distinction, there used to be silos of thought in terms of if you had a physical retail presence versus if you have a digital presence. So you would separate those experiences. However, nowadays, your customers don't see that distinction. How they see you on social media or how they see you on your online store or in your physical retail, it's the same experience for them. So now you have to think very holistically about your e-commerce journey. Now, many of you are wondering, okay, that's great. We've talked about e-commerce, but what about Amazon? Amazon is this huge giant, and a lot of merchants are very intimidated about Amazon and the ability to even compete with them. And so what I want to try to change is your frame of thinking on that. You don't necessarily want to compete against Amazon, but you want to utilize Amazon to your advantage. So really what it comes down to is that Amazon is what we like to call a channel. So a channel is basically a touch point where you can communicate with your potential customers and to potentially convert them. So an online store, like your own Shopify store, is one way to find new customers. And Amazon as a marketplace is another channel. So marketplaces are really a collection of sellers, and they have sort of limitations into how you can conduct your business there. You can't own your own branding. There might be fees that you might have to pay, whether that's commission or even a fee to be a part of a marketplace. So other popular marketplaces are Etsy, Amazon, eBay, etc. And so while they don't have as much control, or you don't have much control as a seller for Amazon, you actually are able to still compete out there with other sellers. And really, it just allows you to have more eyeballs on your product, to basically have a whole new collection of people to attract to your business and to sell. So it's another channel. So don't be intimidated by Amazon. Use Amazon for what it is, which is a marketplace, and really leverage your different channels to sell more and to attract more buyers. Okay, so we've spoken about what e-commerce is, the importance of it, but really we're going to get down to the nitty-gritty benefits of e-commerce. So if you're not yet online or conducting your own e-commerce business, this is the reason that you should be starting today. So obviously we're in a digital world, everything is 24/7, and websites at the end of the day, they don't sleep. We're not limited by hours of a store being open. Your customers don't have to come in a specific time. They can come at any time of the day, at any period of the week, from anywhere in the world. So this is obviously the biggest advantage of being online, is that you open yourself up to so many more people and allow them to shop whenever is most convenient for them, for wherever they are located, in the world. Now, I was sort of touching a little bit of this on the marketplace side of things, but the key to having your own online store and your own presence is that it's your brand and it's your way. So you have the control over your marketing campaigns, all of your branding, what you want to change, what you want to do with your website, whereas you might not necessarily have that control or that same elevation in how you want to present yourself within a marketplace. Again, marketplaces are great, but within your own store, it's really where you can control who you are and the message you want to tell. And the story you want to tell through your products or your services. So really, it's your brand, your way. What's interesting about the old school side of selling is that customers had to come to you in order to get products. And one of the best parts of e-commerce is that now your customers still come to you digitally, but the products go to them. So no matter where they are in the world, you're really selling without borders. You are opening yourself up to more people, and you can even sell to the most remote places in the world. As long as there are methods for shipments to get there, you can theoretically ship to that customer. So no longer are you constrained by who you know on your street corner or within your own town or city, or even in your own country. You can expand to where you want to sell. You can even specifically choose where you want to sell. If you're using a platform like Shopify, within our platform, you can actually put restrictions. So if there are only certain countries you'd like to sell to, you can choose that. So you have all of the control, which is the best part of owning your own e-commerce business. So, and selling where you want. So this is sort of going on the last point. You have the control. You can sell to who you want, where you want, and effectively how you want. If you have a specific shipping strategy, you'll be able to select not only what kinds of shipments you want to be sending, or the offering of how fast you're shipping, but also where you're shipping. So if there are some remote locations that, for you and your strategy when it comes to e-commerce are just too expensive to ship, then you might not want to necessarily ship there. Or if you're just getting started and maybe you are based out of the United States and you just want to sell within the United States and maybe to Canada and maybe parts of Europe, you can select that. And then as you get more comfortable and you grow your sales, you can really expand yourself that way. Next, one of my favorite parts of e-commerce and just digital marketing in general is that everything is trackable. This is probably the biggest strength of digital marketing. So for many of you out there, if you're digital marketers and you're managing and running campaigns, you know this 110%. You have the ability to track almost virtually everything, which is incredibly powerful. So from understanding, what your average order values are, or your conversion rates, or you can look at your funnels and really see the drop off of where people are maybe not converting, and going in there and sort of understanding or trying to understand, okay, why is this drop off happening? What can I change? What can I adjust to get out there and to update my business to potentially sell more and scale? So following your sales, seeing and improving your ROI, everything is trackable within the world of digital marketing and e-commerce. So it's something you can really use to your advantage. Even when it comes down to email marketing campaigns, you're able to see all of your open rates, your conversion rates, your unsubscribes. You can even tailor all of your marketing messages to different targeted audiences, whether you're using Facebook ads or whether you're using Instagram or Snapchat or whatever. There's so many audiences that you can specifically target and really leverage the data that you have available to you to be more successful with your business. And finally, the last sort of main benefit of e-commerce is that it's not going to cost you an arm and a leg. Gone are the days where e-commerce was really only available to those companies who had hundreds and thousands of dollars to spend on their e-commerce. Now there are better solutions and more solutions for all sizes of businesses to help level the playing field. And this is really the key component to e-commerce nowadays, is that these small mom and pop shops or brands, they finally have skin in the game. And they're able to compete with those large guys. We're able to effectively compete with larger e-commerce businesses who have maybe been well established. And as long as you're smart with your marketing campaigns and are providing an amazing experience for your customers, you can take pieces of the market share. You can drive sales, you can attract customers. So there are a ton of options now for marketing platforms, e-commerce platforms. They don't have to cost you thousands of dollars. Most of them are SaaS services, meaning software as a service, so you can pay for them on a monthly basis depending on what your budget needs really are. So, okay, we've talked about e-commerce, its importance, why we should be selling online, but the next question is like, what can we actually sell online? And what you're going to see is that there's a variety of different of options out there, or even combinations that you can combine. So hopefully it'll be able to inspire you on maybe what you're thinking, or hopefully going to launch your side hustle. So all of the examples that I have are actually merchants who are selling on Shopify right now in a variety of different categories. So we're going to talk about them quickly first. So obviously, and most important and the most obvious, is that about 90% of what's being sold online, if not more, is physical product. So these are products that obviously you can physically touch and are then physically shipped to the customer. So here we have an example. They're called Goldie Blocks. They actually won our Build a Business competition a couple of years ago. Goldie Blocks is a shop that sells, toys and games and activities for young girls to inspire them for STEM education, so focusing on science, technology, engineering, and mathematics. And it's a really, really cool shop. If you've never heard of them, I definitely recommend checking them out. But here's a fantastic example of being pretty niche with the product, but obviously selling physical products. The next, obviously, is digital products. So not as popular as physical products, obviously, but digital products are increasing type of products that you can sell online. So the example here I have is Becky Higgins, again, selling on Shopify. So she is actually a designer, and while she does sell physical products, she also sells a huge chunk of her inventory through digital means. So she's a designer, and what she sells are these design files. So whether you are scrapbooking or making cards, she sells the files that you would need to adjust or change or modify, and you can actually download them from her website, and obviously processing the payment and everything. So it's the same type of shopping experience, but instead of receiving a physical item in the mail, you'd be receiving it through an email download link. So what's interesting is that, there's lots of businesses out there who maybe have a subscription type of service or a membership. So, I've seen physical trainers use Shopify to host their memberships and charge their clients. And obviously subscriptions are super popular, whether that's a subscription for a class or maybe a monthly makeup type of service. Coffee, everyone has to get their coffee fixed. So this is Augie's. They're based in California, in Redlands, California, near LA. And they obviously sell their coffee packages normally, but they also sell a coffee subscription. So they have reoccurring billing with their customers already set in. So their customers would pay, they'd be automatically charged every month, and then have the coffee delivered to their door wherever they might be located. Next, and what's really interesting, and not a lot of people have maybe realized this, but you can actually use e-commerce for charitable causes. So here we have an example called Visit Rico. They're based in Puerto Rico, and they actually created this site in order to collect donations, especially after the devastating hurricanes that happened last fall. So they use their website to not only share what's going on, but then also use it as a portal for people to share their webpage, but then collect donations through it. So charity is a very interesting way to enter sort of the world of e-commerce, but it's one that's growing, and we're seeing a lot more organizations or non-for-profits utilizing things like e-commerce platforms to share their message and to raise funds for whatever cause they might be supporting. Next, so while it fits into the world of physical products, it's sort of physical product that's going to be returned. So this is product and equipment rentals. So the example here I have is Happily Ever Borrowed. And so they're a rental bridal accessory shop. And what they do is basically, whether they have accessories or dresses or any other type of items that you need for your rental, or sorry, for your bridal purposes, you would be purchasing them online, but then ultimately returning them at the end. So we've seen this a lot with ladies fashion. So if you've ever seen Rent the Runway, we have a similar Canadian competitor here called Rent Frock Repeat, where these ladies will purchase or pay for a dress, but it's really a rental, a beautiful designer type of dress, wear it to their event, and then afterwards they would actually return it to the store. So this is, again, a more growing area of e-commerce, where if you do have a product, but it's more of a service where you're renting it out, you can still use e-commerce platforms to facilitate that kind of relationship with your customers. And then finally, what's I think is really special is sort of this experience idea. So it's more of a service, but you're providing something to your customers in an experience type of way. So we have an example here from Colombia, so Juan Ballena, and they focus on excursions. So they have these trips that they book within the Rosario Islands, which are just outside of Cartagena. So if you've never been, definitely recommend. They're stunning. And they facilitate all of their bookings, all of their excursion packages through Shopify. So again, if you have a travel type of company and you're really focused on these experiences, or if you have classes that need to be purchased, you can use an e-commerce platform to facilitate those transactions. There's tons and tons of options out there, no matter what kind of business you have. You don't just have to sell a physical or digital product. There's so many options out there. So really, at the end of the day, when you're asking yourself, what can I sell online, you can really sell whatever you want. So whether that's a physical or digital product, we have a ton of people selling services. So even consultants out there, or digital nomads, freelancers, they can facilitate all of their transactions and all of their dealings with clients. If they're purchasing packages or if they're paying for a service, they can facilitate that. Subscriptions and memberships, obviously with fitness consultants or fitness trainers, having a subscription service for food or items that you need every month. If you've ever heard of Dollar Shave Club, they have their monthly razor packages delivered to their customers. So a lot of disposable or consumable products are fantastic fits for subscriptions. Charity initiatives, very interesting, trying to collect donations through an e-commerce type of experience. Renting products or equipment. So if you have any businesses that are focusing in a physical product, but it's not to keep, this is definitely an option for you. You just have to facilitate your return process really well with your customers and how you might be going through with that. Next, we have experiences. Obviously, if you are a trip or tourism type of company, you can actually handle all of your bookings online and collect payment from your customers. And really, you can use a combination of the above. You don't just have to pick one or the other. We see a lot of people who are mixing physical and digital products. Consulting services go really well with digital products. Maybe you're a marketer and you're looking to develop some info products, but you want those to be downloadable, but you want to charge for them. There's so many different ways that you can facilitate all of your transactions, no matter what kind of business you might have. Okay, so next stop is talking about inventory. So obviously, if you have a physical product or even a digital product, whatever it might be, there's different ways that you can even handle your inventory. So when we're talking about physical products, there's obviously a lot of options. So the three main options are physical owned product, drop shipping, and print on demand. So really, when it comes down to inventory, physical owned product means it's something that you're either developing yourself or perhaps purchasing from a manufacturer, but you are holding on to this inventory. You have to store it. And obviously, when you're starting as a small business, you might not have the funds to put out front to be able to buy all of that inventory that you might need, or even have the capacity to store it. So while physical owned product, you control all of the parts of the process, where you determine the packaging, You control the shipping process. There's a lot more control with physical owned product. There can actually also be a huge outlay of capital for that. So if that's the case, and maybe you're starting out pretty lean as a business, there are two other really great options that you could consider. So whether you want to consider drop shipping or print on demand, those are two excellent options for people just entering the e-commerce game. So dropshipping as an inventory strategy really refers to the fulfillment method where there is sort of a middleman who helps you out so that your supplier, so while your customer will come to your website and purchase from you, you actually don't have the inventory on hand. And so what happens is that when the order comes in, your supplier gets notified, and it's the supplier who directly ships to your customers. So it's not actually you. You control the business process, how they're facilitating the transaction through your website, but we have methods set up, such as an app like Oberlo, that can help you facilitate the dropshipping process. So you would utilize a supplier. There's tons, if not thousands or hundreds of thousands of them all around the world. One of the most popular portals, obviously, is something like AliExpress. There are pros and cons to drop shipping. I would recommend testing out all of the products that you're thinking of looking at offering on your website to ensure the quality, what the shipping times might be. Oftentimes, the biggest downfall with drop shipping is that there's a huge waiting period between when the customer would order the product and when they would actually receive it. So that's something to really take into account and to make sure that you're still providing the customer with the best experience. So if you're really going for a high quality brand, you want to make sure that your product is going to match that. So I really recommend making sure testing everything before deep diving too much into drop shipping. The next one is print on demand. So kind of similar to drop shipping in that you're not really holding inventory. This is perfect if you're looking at starting a type of apparel company, maybe like a t-shirt business. So we have a bunch of partners and apps and companies out there, such as either Printful or Printify, who actually take care of everything in terms of the production. So when you get an order for a t-shirt, depending on what design you'd like, that would be notified to your print-on-demand partner. They would actually be the ones to develop the t-shirt and then also ship it out to your customer. So what this allows you to do is that instead of buying 500 t-shirts with multiple sizes and hoping that you're going to sell out of all of those specific sizes, you can actually just print and fulfill each order as they come in depending on the size. And you don't have to worry about, again, that inventory problem or upfronting a lot of capital to get started. So print on demand is another really great way to get started very easily and very quickly. There's tons of great options out there. And it doesn't just have to be for t-shirts. That could be for artwork, for posters. It could be for accessories like pillows or mugs or anything else, anything that you could print something on, whether that's a notebook or anything. There's a ton of options for what you could actually have your product. So if you're focusing on design, you want that design to be on physical product, print on demand is a fantastic option for you to check out and to get started with. So I definitely recommend it. All right, so the last part of this presentation is talking about now getting started. We've gone through all of the basics of e-commerce, making sure everyone has the same foundational knowledge, talking about what you can sell, these inventory strategies. Okay, that's great, but what's the next step? If you wanted to start right now, right after this presentation, what could you do? So really, the three key steps to success is that you're going to, first of all, just start. It seems really silly and you're like, obviously you have to start, but actually this is the part that people run into. They hum and haw over things for years before they get started. I'm guilty of that. I'm currently building out my own e-commerce store, but it's a passion project that I've been thinking about probably for the last 2 years. And it's only in the last month or so that I've really actioned that and really started. And that's sort of the fun about being an entrepreneur, is that you're not going to know everything right from the beginning. You have to sort of figure things out as you go, and you're not going to be an expert. And so, yeah, just get started. The next step is attracting the traffic to your website. So once you've actually started to build your site, you want to make sure that you're bringing people to your site. So whether that's through content and organic means or through paid advertising. You want to bring that traffic to your website. But what's most important is that you're going to be converting that traffic. And the way to do that is your content, products, your product descriptions, your website design has to be compelling enough to actually convert that traffic. It's one thing to bring traffic to your website. It's another to start getting sales. So when a lot of people start, they're frustrated about not being able to even attract traffic, or they're not getting sales. So you really have to think critically about what you're offering to your customers. Are you being found? Are you appeasing Google in your searches? Keep that in mind. Try to keep things really, really simple. Obviously, there's 100 different steps under each one, but when you think about it holistically, it's kind of a little bit easier to digest and sort of really bring back to the foundational steps of like, okay, what do I have to do to really get started and to eventually be successful? So as I mentioned, I was going to talk a little bit about Shopify. So for those of you who are unfamiliar with the platform, Shopify is the leading commerce platform out there. So our main mission is to make commerce better for everyone. So we are all about democratizing commerce for all business types, so small, medium, and large-sized businesses, and making our technology available to businesses of all sizes. To give you an idea of how Shopify even started, is that we like to say that the first Shopify store was our own. And that's because it was founded by a man named Toby, who's originally from Germany. And I like to say Shopify kind of started as a love story where Toby came over to Canada, which is why I'm based in Canada, because obviously we're headquartered here. Toby came over to Canada, fell in love with a nice Canadian girl, and also fell in love with snowboarding. And so after a while, with his friends, he said, let's start a business. Let's start selling snowboards. And Toby thought that the easiest part of this was going to be the e-commerce component. And this was about 10 years ago. And that was a time when e-commerce was really only accessible to companies that had hundreds and thousands of people, hundreds and thousands of dollars that you could spend, on these e-commerce solutions. There was nothing really available for these small businesses. So what Toby decided to do is take things into his own hands. He's a computer developer or computer programmer by trade, and he decided to start building his own site. He kind of came into a fork in the road, and he said, okay, we can either start selling our snowboards with this platform that we built, or go ahead and help other businesses and help them sell online. And so luckily he went that route, and that's how Shopify was born. So if you head on over to shopify.com, you'll be able to see all of our information. And really, it's as easy as getting started. All Shopify stores start with a 14-day free trial, so it gives you a lot of time to get your hands dirty, work around with the platform, experiment, and start building your business. Clicking on Get Started, you can enter in your email, a password for your store, and a name, and boom, you've already created your store. And again, you have this 14-day free trial to experiment with. This is what our dashboard looks like once you log into your store. Very simplistic. We have our navigation that you're able to check out. So whether you're looking at your orders or adding products, we have the ability to measure everything. We have some pretty powerful analytic and reporting tools. So really, you don't necessarily need to know how to code, which is awesome, and it puts the power back into the merchant's hands. If you've ever worked with any marketing platforms similar to like a WordPress or anything like that, it's a similar type of experience. If you've ever had your own blog, the interface is very similar. And as I mentioned, sales channels, online store is just one type of sales channel, one way to find customers. We integrate into so many other channels, such as Facebook or Amazon. And so it's just more ways to sell, more ways to gain customers. So I really recommend that if you're thinking about launching a business, or you have a passion project that you're just like, I don't know how to do it, just start. My biggest piece of advice for you today is that, the key to being successful is actually starting before you're even ready. There's never going to be that perfect moment. So my recommendation to you is to just get started today, take a chance, start being an entrepreneur, and learn as you go, and just have fun and enjoy the ride. So I just wanted to wrap things up because I know we want to have some time for questions if there are any. Thank you very, very much for listening, and I hope you have an amazing rest of your day and enjoy the rest of the talks. Thank you so much. So I'll wait for Ala. Oh, she's just messaging me now. So I'm just going to go through the chat a little bit. So if you do have a question, feel free to answer it there. So I see a question from Angela. Can you explain the difference between Shopify and WooCommerce? So WooCommerce obviously is another e-commerce platform. While I can't speak too much about WooCommerce because I don't know the platform intimately, can obviously talk about Shopify. So Shopify was started as an e-commerce platform. As far as I know, WooCommerce is an addition and associated with WordPress, which is a fantastic blogging platform. It allows you for e-commerce functionality, but Shopify was built true and true to be an e-commerce platform, a commerce platform now, and we support all that you would need in order to sell wherever you want. So whether that's physically or digitally, all of your inventory will sync, all of your marketing campaigns are integrated into our platform, your customer tracking, everything. So Shopify really inherently is an e-commerce platform. Hi, Emma.
Hey, hi, hello everyone, I'm back. Yes, thank you so much. Thanks for the presentation. And actually, even if I know that we will have all the PDF slides, yes, and summit replay, just take a look at this. I have so many notes, yes, from your presentation. Gary, thank you so much. Yes, and we have 4 minutes for Q&A. Yep, and guys, dear friends, please, no questions like what is the difference between WooCommerce and Shopify, because we have a speaker from WooCommerce, and I think it would be right, yeah, just to talk about the differences, because we don't promote. Yes, we don't promote our product, so it's up to you to decide. So just Google it, okay? The very interesting question is from David. Yeah, so Katie, what do you think? What are the best products to sell, either in niche market? Is it always changing? Just what do you think about it?
Yeah, that's a great question, David. Obviously, there's so many types of niche markets, so it really does depend on what you're trying to sell. There's two sort of trains of thought for e-commerce. So you can either have more of a general store where you're selling lots of types of different products or services even, or going the niche route, which is where you're really zoning in on the niche products. There are advantages and disadvantages to both. Yes, obviously niches are always changing. A lot of niches can even be, related to what's trending. So if you're using something like Google Trends to try to figure out, what are trending topics, what are trending products, and try to capitalize on those trends to start a business is a really great research tool to get started. But yeah, niches are always changing. It's very, very specific. I think what's really powerful about niches is that while the audiences might not be as wide, obviously they're a smaller number, they are much more qualified and much more focused. So when you are doing, your Facebook campaigns, you can really laser in into the data that you have available. You can create lookalike audiences. So that's a little bit quote unquote easier than if you were to have more of a generalistic type of store where you have a much bigger audience, but it's not as qualified. So there's definite strengths into niches. Just depends what niche you want to focus on. I recommend doing as much research as you can, depending on your product, and going from there.
Yes, thank you so much. And actually, you just answered question number 2 from Larry. How do we select the market that we should enter?
Yeah, that's great. So very similar to sort of the niche versus general. If you're referring to the markets based on what you're selling, or if you're maybe more talking about like the channels and where you should enter, in terms of the niches or the markets that you have open to you, obviously Again, my recommendation is to do some research, figure out who your customers are, and more importantly, where are they? Are they shopping on marketplaces? Are they shopping primarily online or physically? Really having an understanding of who your customer is, what their persona, their buying habits are like, are really the most important things to help you even decide what kind of marketing campaigns you want to create in order to attract more people. So definitely take a look at the characteristics of your customer based on the products or the solutions or that you're going to be selling to them, and then sort of have a better understanding on how you can start your business there.
Okay, sweet. Just what came to my mind, and I think it's a brilliant idea. Okay, so we have so many questions, and we have just like 1 minute more for Q&A with Katie. I think that I will simply copy paste all these questions, and then, dear Katie, I will send them to you. Okay, and just be so polite, be so kind, please, to answer them all, and then I'll create a blog post. Okay, with just your answers to these questions, and we'll be able to add screenshots, examples. Yes, it will be awesome, guys. And if you want, stay in touch with us, with all the speakers, like 24/7. Okay, please join PromoRepublic community on Facebook. Okay, I will give you the link right now in a minute. Okay, right after I introduce our second speaker. Okay, so blog post with the answers for all these questions. It would be awesome. And then Katie, in PromoRepublic community on Facebook. Okay, it would be nice to have you there and just help our guys. Dear Katie, thank you so much. It was incredible. Thanks for your time. Thanks for your work. And see you next time. See you next time at our next third e-commerce summit, okay, 2018 as well.
Awesome. Thank you everyone for attending today. Sorry I couldn't get to all the questions, but we'll do our best to answer them. Thank you so much.
No worries. So, and I just can't wait to introduce our next speaker, Cody. Here, so Cody will tell us about online store, okay, and how your online store can compete with Amazon and how to win, okay. Cody is an e-commerce consultant with over 14 years experience focused on helping stores with sales and technical challenges. Cody, video is okay. Let's check sound.
Hey there, can you hear me?
Yes, awesome. The floor is yours.
Alrighty. Well, thank you so much for having me in, and it's great to be here. I don't know what time it is in your side of the world, but it's 8:45 in sunny Arizona, Phoenix, Arizona to be exact. So I want to share some about our e-commerce businesses and how we can actually beat Amazon in their own game. Now, I want to be careful with how I share that, and I don't want to say that we're going to build as big of a website as Amazon, obviously, because that's just not the case. And we really, it's an uphill battle to try to, compete and beat any competitor at their own game. But I want to talk about some differentiators for your online store and how we can touch on that. Now, specifically, what I tend to focus on, what our company focuses on, is WooCommerce. So whatever platform you're using, whether it's WooCommerce, Shopify, or anything of the like, you can use that to its strengths. And so when I asked the question, why WooCommerce? WooCommerce is actually a great online platform for you to be able to customize and build the business that you actually want. So instead of being restricted by any particular things that the platform has, whether it's hosted or being specific to doing just a certain amount of things, WooCommerce really allows you to be able to build the store of your dreams and customize it to whatever level you need to. So let's take a look at the actual adoption of WooCommerce. Now, these stats are a little bit old, and it continues to change as we move forward. But back in 2015, when WordPress's parent company, Automatic, purchased WooCommerce, these were the statistics. So we see in the green right here, I don't know if you can see the pencil, but in green, we see WooCommerce was holding fast in 2015 about 21%. And that number continues to increase, as well as WordPress being one of the main platforms for online experiences that holds steady at about 30% of all online sites. So that's a massive number. Now, obviously, you could see, Magento holds a big piece of that. Shopify holds a big piece of that. And there's a lot of other platforms you can choose to build on. So it's not just restrictive of WooCommerce, but I can share some things and just kind of speak to any online platform in general on how you can actually build a store that's going to really help you differentiate yourself from an online competitor like Amazon. Now, a little called ModeEffect. I actually co-founded a company called ModeEffect, and we started in about 2010, and we best help online stores really be able to grow their businesses and support them technically. And what I mean by that is we are a great partner for those who really need that ongoing help to keep their store running at a high level, and also understand how best to leverage those little hinges and those levers that will really help them get to the next level and really get the maximum results. And so you can check us out at modeeffect.com, or you can follow me at CodyL on Twitter. So the first thing I want to touch on, our first point rather, is when looking at a store, looking at how Amazon does things, I want to just not take a look at, we don't want to just look at Amazon as our competitor, but we want to look at other competitors in our space and actually learn, see what we can learn from them. What are the things we can glean and really put into our online store? Now, if you're, and I think Katie touched on this in her last presentation, but there's a lot of niche businesses in e-commerce, and it's a fantastic place to be in, especially in this day and age, where we have so many different types of stores and so many different types of products, and people can launch businesses and do really great things and serve a niche customer base. So it's important that we want to get in that space. And specifically, we want to take as much information as we possibly can from our competitors, and want to understand that the things that they're doing successfully and the things that we can really learn that work well, not only from an e-commerce best practice standpoint, but also just some things that do well in their space and what things we can do to differentiate in our space. Now you can take a look at a page of a product on Amazon. This happens to be a wallet, a specific wallet that's an RFID wallet. You can see a lot of things that are brought up on this specific product page. Now, depending on what platform you're using for your store, you may not be able to get as granular on these details. But you can see, just looking at this, there are multiple things within a view that you don't have to scroll in to just learn about the product, types of colors, general information, what type of reviews it's gotten. We can see what type of things that other customers buy together. And the point is here is that when learning from our competitors, and specifically learning from Amazon, we can really take this opportunity to just see what's working well and what things are showing up on a page for us to understand and apply. So one of the things to keep in mind with Amazon, and why we can learn so much from Amazon and how they display things on their site, is Amazon's running over hundreds of different tests on their website at any given time. So these changes all take place in the categories, subcategories, product pages, all of this information. Really, we get the best benefit of seeing this on a customer-facing page to be able to learn and understand how we can best display our product pages and the product info we're looking to give out. So the things that we can learn from Amazon is specifically looking at a product page or overall. We're finding out on that specific product page, what are consumers buying? What are the things that they are purchasing? And not only what are they purchasing on a single product instance, but what are they purchasing along with it? Now, in that last page, and you can see it kind of dimly behind this text, what are the things that are complaints, general complaints about this specific product? And perhaps in the comments, reviews, whatever you want to call it, we're finding out from customers good feedback on which features do they wish this specific product had. And lastly, what price point is this product selling at? So these are just really quick takeaways looking at a product page on Amazon. We could get multiple slides. We could do a full presentation on what to learn from Amazon or from our specific competitors and see exactly what information is being put on a page. But specifically from Amazon, this is really great because we get an opportunity to learn exactly what these tests have resulted in and what happens or what goes on a page for people to learn and what type of information customers are putting right out there on the front page. So we're learning from our competitors. We're being able to understand and looking at Amazon specifically and being able to understand what things are working best for them. So the next thing I want to focus on is creating a strategy. Now this is a good lead in Katie's talk that just finished up a little bit ago. If we're just starting out online or if we're really trying to get our store back in shape, we want to create a strategy that helps us best learn from our competitors and be able to really apply things and get a better opportunity to serve our customers. Now, it depends on what our strengths are. A lot of businesses just kind of start with an idea. A lot of online stores just kind of launched by necessity or maybe you have experience working at another retail platform or whatnot. But there's definitely help with creating some type of a high-level strategy here. And you don't really have to get, you don't have to get super granular, but really just making sure that there's some type of specific strategy related to how we learn from our competitors, related to how we can learn from Amazon on how best to accomplish our goals. And again, I'm really hitting these things on a high level because we could take each exact point on this presentation and put that into an exact talk. So we could do a specific talk on how to create a strategy for your online store. So if you have questions about that, love to hit those at the end. But I'm really trying to keep on a high level here. So we're looking at key things. Just a few quick key things I want to look at with creating a strategy, and making sure that the decisions we make are definitely within the alignment of vision of our brand. If we launched a brand and specifically maybe it's a niche brand, maybe it's a pet food, maybe it's a wearable clothing for sporting goods or whatnot, we want to make sure that that vision is clear and we can learn from our competitors and be able to know how the things we learn work into our strategy. We also want to make sure our store does one thing really well before we add to the next thing. So that kind of goes back to the last point with learning from our competitors. We're looking at a store, specifically Amazon, looking at that product page, and this is a result of tons and tons of testing, lots of different things that have happened for this specific mature instance of a product page to launch and get to where you see it. So before you know the old saying, before you run, you've got to crawl, or before you crawl, you've got to run, whatever. But that's the thing we want to take in mind, especially on a platform like WooCommerce, or any platform you're going to use. You really want to make sure that you can do one thing really well on your store, and it gets buyers through the entire process before we add on every single bell and whistle. So that's the key to keep in mind when creating our strategy. And the last point is making sure we share that strategy with the key people on our team. Now, whether that's your co-founders, the people who are involved by your company, or just the technical team, like for instance us at Motivec, you want to share your strategy to be able to have good collaborators on your side to make sure that that's an ongoing process of making sure the strategy is all put together in a way that everybody's on board and it's being implemented on your online store. want to look at is building a brand. And that's the thing. I think, obviously, this is another point that's really going to be hit on a high level, but there are so many things and assumptions that we think about when we talk brand. A lot of people think logo when they think brand, especially in a WooCommerce world, especially when we get straight to doing the nitty-gritty of online selling and running a business. What is a brand? How's my brand being able to be affected and being able to be something that I can take and I can really build into something that means something to my customers. Now, when looking at Amazon, that's a difference between our stores and Amazon. And we mentioned niche, however you pronounce it. It's so important because when launching an online store, now more than ever, niche brands and niche markets are so important and so valuable and have such a high level of success that you can really just build such a sustainable product and build a brand. So we want to make sure that we've got something that we can really take to market. And when we look at a competitor like Amazon, Amazon is something that is definitely a online platform that sells everything. So we know that physical retail, for instance, Amazon is really affecting physical retail with bigger stores. When we think about our online stores, maybe we're selling one particular product or one particular category of products, and we're looking at that as an opportunity to be able to be helpful to really learn from Amazon how we can differentiate and elaborate on that by using our brand. So the best way to define our brand is to really ask one specific question. When a customer thinks about our store or purchases or one of our products, what are the feelings and emotions that result in that interaction? So when somebody gets on our store and they look around or they browse, what are their feelings? And what are their thoughts as far as, what type of quality of our products or how we serve this particular category or niche? And you find yourself working into a process like this. Your actions plus your customers' emotions and feelings equal our brand. And here's the thing: when you're just launching your store, or maybe your brand, you're somewhat new, you've been around for a little while, it doesn't get there overnight. This is an ongoing process. So don't beat yourself up if, for instance, you've had some returns or you've had some negative complaints. We're all on our journey to be able to create a better online store and a better experience for our customers. But if we're aware of these things, aware of how people feel and think about our brand, we have an opportunity to really be able to do a better job on creating a great brand with our store. Now, what we've been talking about, what we continue to look into is running a small store, running a store that serves a niche market or something, specific, really gives us the advantage over something like Amazon. And Amazon has to, sell dog food, DVDs, cereal, snow boots, you name it. It sells everything. So we really, our one job is to appeal to our target audience and to appeal to the people that enjoy the lifestyle and be able to really appreciate the things that we do. Same thing applies to the design, look and feel of our store. We definitely want to think about how our brand reflects the different type of feelings and emotions our customers get when they come onto stores. And that goes back to our first point, even in learning from our competitors. Different competitors in our space, we can understand how they present their stores. How are their stores laid out? What are the different types of things and things we can learn from them as far as different brands and product groupings and how people are buying. We get the opportunity to take advantage of that. So that kind of wraps up our branding point. Of course, brand is such a big topic. So of course that can open such a huge discussion. We can really make a full presentation on how branding can be effective within e-commerce. But that's just a small part of thinking about how our online store is performing, how our customers respond to things, and how we can do with regards to building a better brand and have that brand continue to be molded by how our customers feel and experience on our store. So the next point we want to look at is storytelling. We're looking at learning from our competitors, building a strategy. We're building some type of a brand that really resonates with the people that we want to serve on our online store. So moving in that sequence, we could see that storytelling is really something that is a huge opportunity on our stores, especially with being able to put our brand into focus. Now, when looking at Amazon, we look at their pages, we look at their product listing, and Amazon is like a big digital grid of products. It's not something that is so specific and speaks to a lot of niche markets. Now, I know Amazon is created really great subcategory pages and really been able to do a good job with some of those specific subcategories. But there's really, Amazon is not a platform for capturing people's attention, especially in a subcategory. And so with our websites, we have the ability to leverage them and create and tell a story. And a quick way getting back to WooCommerce, we have an opportunity leveraging WordPress to be able to use that to write really great articles and really great blogs that will kind of group into that content and commerce aspect. But specifically, as an online store or brand, we can use the niche approach and the size of our market, size of our store as an advantage over people that shop on Amazon. So that's why we want to create a really great story that incites customers to want to be excited about our products and our brands, or rather our brand and our products, because we have an opportunity to present a product page, present a blog, and talk about how exactly we can use our products, or how we can show how the lifestyle and how these products can be used and applied in daily life. Now here's an example of a really great specific online retailer. It's Saddleback Leather. And they sell really great leather products, very aged, kind of, you get the sense when you get onto this website, it's not vanilla. It's very specific to the lifestyle and to the appeal of this particular customer that comes onto the site. And you see that with this very specific approach to how their store is laid out. And getting on there, you could see right off the bat, Saddleback Leather, what do they sell? You guessed it, leather products. But they do so much more than that. They're a company that, if you look through their site, you could see that they've got quality, adventure, charity, and family values, and you could see that going through their story and whatnot. And they're really inviting their customers and people who have been on their site to be able to be a part. And they've got a really great warranty that they're showing, and this is exactly why we want to build an online store that differentiates from Amazon, and we can really key into opportunities to share with people exactly how we can serve this specific niche market better than specifically going onto Amazon and buying just something that's part of one of their tens of thousands and millions of products, whatever they have. Another great example of that is Warby Parker. Warby Parker is a bigger company. They've gotten to be quite a bit larger in recent years. But they do a great job on their website of just really being specific to their customer base, specific in storytelling. And you could see they do such a fantastic job of showing, exactly how the lifestyle. They tell a great story of lifestyle on their site. And we know that in this market, glasses are a commodity item, but Warby Parker's approach is so specific. And so you could see that the design is not distracting. The design allows for photos and things to tell a really great story. And they really serve their customers well. They really identify that lifestyle and put groupings of products together well. And you can see, even clicking through their website, they've made the user experience very specific to what their customers want. That's why using a great platform like, say, WooCommerce is good, because we can really tailor that customer experience to be able to be so user-friendly and not have to hop around back and forth, and be able to really do a great job of keeping customers on one page while they're engaged with our story. So our next point is building relationships. So we've gone from learning from our competitors to creating a strategy and building a brand and being able to really use our brand to tell a story. So when our stores launched, we've got an opportunity where we sold some products and we've already done some business, and we're really looking to foster ongoing customer relationships. So when we have customers who browse or they buy from our store, we want to really take that opportunity to listen and communicate with some of the customers who purchase products from our store. And so Amazon does a great job of customer service, but they're not as specific to listen to each individual customer and approach it from the interest level as we have an opportunity to do with our niche markets. Individual customer reactions can be, can take up a lot of our time, but when we're small, we have an opportunity to really listen to them and be able to be engaged with them quite a bit. And when we have that opportunity, we can really get in we really have an opportunity to listen. When we have a smaller store and a smaller customer base, we really get an opportunity to learn and be able to take that feedback and be able to put it into how we improve our brand and how we continue to tell better stories. And that helps us modify our website in a way that creates a better experience for all these customers we're serving. So taking that time to interact on a one-on-one basis with some of our customers is probably one of the best ways we can really create a better experience for not only that specific customer, but for people who come to our store and are really interested in this particular product, and especially when it's done on the small scale. And people, they absolutely love to share these stories, and when you have that opportunity and you have that captive audience, you have such a great opportunity to just, get people invited into that story, kind of like what Saddleback Leather is doing with their store. They're telling a great story, and I'm sure you could see so many other online sites that have done a great job with that as well. So that's really a great opportunity we have as our online stores, especially in a smaller market serving a specific niche, where we can share these stories and we continue to bring our customer feedback into building our brand and building a better experience. So bringing it all together, we really touched on a lot of topics, or a few topics that are really on a high level, but let's bring it all together here. So when looking at Amazon, we could see that it's very intimidating when we compare ourselves to a store like Amazon. We're not going to beat Amazon at their own game, but we can really learn from Amazon and what they've done very well from a specific user interface, user experience basis. But we can also look at what they cannot do as far as building a brand that's specific to this audience that we're serving, and be able to tell a story that's compelling, that really gets people interested in buying the products and really participating in the community and the lifestyle that we're really trying to serve. And that's what's so great about being able to serve a small or niche audience. We get that opportunity to really be agile and use these things to cover all the customers we're serving. So we really, we see the changes we apply with the online store, and we can make these changes at a greater speed and be able to take that feedback and apply it immediately. And we're telling that specific group of customers this story that inspires them to be a part of our brand and our community. So that's really just it. Finally, in recapping, we're learning from our competitors, looking around at what we can do to learn what they do best, maybe improve on what they don't do so well. And we have an opportunity to really, build somewhat of a brand and create that strategy create the strategy that really helps us do well to know how we can approach our market, building a brand that really helps our customers feel welcomed. And then also we can take that and we can do so much with regards to telling a story and building relationships with our customers that are familiar with our online store and our market. So that's it.
You're right on time. Excellent.
Good deal.
Yeah, so we have some questions. I think questions from Mary and Mia will be first. Guys, it's Q&A now, and you are welcome to ask your questions. The question from Mary is, what kind of site security do you recommend?
Great question. Site security is so important for online stores, especially when you host your own platform on, say, WooCommerce. I would suggest SiteLock is a really great company that you can use as a online store, or for your online store rather. There's also Sakuri, who's a really good company. But lastly, another, I don't know how long I have to answer these questions, but the best approach to online security is making sure that your store is updated and you have a really great technical partner to make sure that everything is kind of tightened up. So it's rather than going to companies, it's an ongoing process.
Okay, and then now question from Can you see it, Kari?
Which question?
Question from Mia.
Oh, okay. So let me read this here. So what are some of the things you should test in our online store, and give examples of specific test plugins to conduct on an e-commerce store? I can share from WooCommerce, since our company primarily builds sites in WooCommerce. There is a really great tool online called Robot Ninja. It's fairly new, and it's a good testing tool when you update your WooCommerce and WordPress instance to be able to run checkouts and run how well your store performs after updates. So that's a really great tool to make sure your site performs well after updating and whatnot. That's one I can recommend at least.
Okay, yes, and question from Eugene. What do you think about opportunities except payments in Messenger?
I think that is a great opportunity for niche markets to be able to take advantage of. It's not a mainstream approach yet as far as having the kind of the social one-to-one interaction, but I would say that it depends on the specific niche of your store. I wouldn't, if I'm serving a big audience and I'm selling a lot of types of products, I don't think Messenger is is necessarily the thing you want to really start with. But if you're selling a specific niche product to a more of an initiated group of customers, then I would say that you could probably experiment with that. It just depends on how technical your audience is.
Yes, one more question. Cody, you shared, you were talking about one tool. Could you please share the link to it?
Say it again.
Is it, it's a question from Mia. Can you throw the URL for the tool you mentioned in the chat box?
There you go, robotninja.com.
Yes, here it is. Thank you very much. Guys, we have like several more minutes for Q&A. If you have any questions, you're welcome to ask it now.
Or I could finally go eat breakfast.
Yeah, so what time is it now?
It's after 9. It's about 9:17.
It's after 9. Okay, so it's 5 a.m. in New Zealand.
Oh, wow.
Yes, I have 5 more hours without breakfast, but it's okay. Yes, another question from Lisa and Eugene. Question from Lisa about storytelling. How do we approach our customers?
Yeah, so I would say it depends on your market, but either way, I think that storytelling is really about lifestyle, especially in e-commerce. And like, let's say for clothing, for instance, if I'm selling clothing to somebody who's into outdoor activities, there is a storytelling that goes involved with really great photography and showing how these particular products can be demonstrated. It's kind of like going back to catalogs. You remember those catalogs? I hope I'm not dating myself, but department store catalogs and how they would show really great photography and showing how people were in different instances and using multiple products, and there would be listings on, exactly what things they were wearing and what they were doing. And that's really specific to how we can do a good job on a niche market on our store, be able to just show with great photography and demonstrate how the products and things are being used.
Okay, so guys, attendees tell me that there is an echo and they can hardly understand just what we're talking about, but I hope it's only when I am talking. It was one more question from Eugene, and he asked you about the payment methods that you use, guys, in WooCommerce.
I'd say Stripe is probably the most popular, along with PayPal. PayPal has been a go-to for so many people, but my recommendation would be whatever payment option you choose, making sure that it's not making people leave the site, staying on the website and being able to complete a transaction with their credit card right there. And I would say that Stripe is a really great tool for that.
Okay, thank you. And I think the last one from Ron. How can we compete with low shipping rates of big retailers?
That's a tough one. The low shipping rates, I think it has to do with how we're sourcing our products and the cost. We really need to do a better job on differentiating when it comes to shipping rate. Yeah, I mean, that's a tough one, especially when we have a market where we're doing, we're competing against a company like Amazon and we're selling a very specific product. The best thing I could say is just making sure we speak to the quality of our products. If it's a great quality product, maybe putting some of that cost into the product rather than putting the shipping costs completely separate. I mean, it really just depends. I know that's a tough one, especially if you're trying to serve an audience that's far away or international specifically. That could be a tough one. I'm sorry I don't have a great answer for that.
No worries, thank you. It was a great presentation. Thank you, Cody. Thanks for your time. Yes, so if you don't mind, that would be awesome if I just can grab all these questions, because probably not everyone just heard what we were talking about. Yes, then send this question to you, you answer all of them, and then I create an incredible blog post, okay, under your name. Okay, that would be nice. Thank you very much, and have a great breakfast.
All right, thank you.
Okay, so it's time for our next presentation, which is actually mine. Okay, so let me introduce myself. Site, and I am a chief content marketer for PromoRepublic, and I am also a creator of PromoRepublic's educational center for e-commerce business. Yes, and yep, every week I host weekly social media webinars, and I am a content contributor for dozens of blogs and platforms. Okay, the topic for my presentation, for today's presentations, is how to turn seasonal shoppers into lifelong customers with social media. Okay, while presenting this, I won't be able to see probably all of your questions and answer them instantly. I'll ask Paul to help me. Okay, if you need my answer, we'll have Q&A. Okay, after my presentation, and so all your questions will be answered. Okay, just let me PromoRepublic first of all, because PromoRepublic is a sponsor of today's e-commerce virtual summit. If you've never used PromoRepublic for your e-commerce business, you should do it right now, okay? Because with PromoRepublic, you can plan, create, promote, monitor, and analyze almost all your marketing channels. And here we go. Social presence, yes, and monetizing social media campaigns. First, let's see the difference, okay? There are two sides to social media marketing. One involves your social presence only, yes, like brand identity, reviews, feedbacks, customer support, and engaging posts, like sometimes basic quotes, fun videos, and occasional promos. All this is important, but you hardly get your business new clients with this like social presence retention strategy. Okay. And on the other side of things, it's the way you run your social media marketing channel. Okay, because it's a channel. By investing in rich media ads and more, you can reach more people. Facebook pixel, rich media ads, dynamic ads. So most importantly, you need a profound content plan with all these different types of content and ads, yes, and all of this should be synchronized with your seasonal offers, email campaigns, and other marketing efforts. If you need your social media to work for you, yes, and be a profitable marketing channel, uh, it should be a symphony, okay? So email, website, campaigns, Google AdWords, and social media, okay? For this presentation, I would like to talk about three networks which are very important for e-commerce, which are crucial for e-commerce. Yes, Instagram, Pinterest, and Facebook. And we will start with Instagram, yes, because it offers a lot of opportunities to reach potential customers and to grow sales, okay? Basically, shoppable posts, hashtags, Instagram stories, influencers, and native ads. Instagram shoppable post, and I am very interested. Guys, are there someone who has already who's already used shoppable post? Have you tried them? So these are posts where a white back icon, like this one, yes, appears on the bottom left corner. Sometimes this icon is accompanied by the by the text, yes, like tap to view product or something. Haven't tried it, okay. So, and when a user taps this icon, yep, square-shaped pop-ups appear on the photo displaying the name of the product and details about the pricing. Okay. So at the moment, Instagram is beta testing this feature, but I know it is available if you have Shopify. Yes, Maria, you can use it with Shopify. So Instagram is beta testing this feature and is gradually rolling it out to a few businesses at a time, but I know some, and these businesses benefit this feature. Okay. Hashtags. You need to monitor hashtags, test them, and define yours, and create your hashtags. So you should never use same hashtags for different products and constantly update, and you need to constantly update your list. Generic hashtags will never bring you new followers because your post will be lost next second after publishing, okay? So you need to create your own hashtags to help your potential clients navigate through your product. So your Instagram shop, yes, is kind of a real or even a better shop. It depends on your product. So let's say I sell cosmetics, okay, so makeup things, and I want to make things easier for my clients. It means that I will have different hashtags, okay, for different products, like Alice brushes, Alice foundation, Alice highlighters, something like that. Okay, so once on your Instagram, they can easily navigate through all of your products and find what they need. Okay, if you won't do this, so no one will. Instagram stories. Um, to get some results, yes, from Instagram stories, you need to post at least 10 stories a day. Okay, and this at least 10 stories a day will get your account noticed. You need to use more than 15 hashtags for one story. Okay, I will tell you how you can use 15 hashtags, invisible hashtags for one story. And you have to story more videos and less static photos. Okay, so this see more option is available only for businesses with more than 10,000 followers. You can reach this number with an easy 3 steps contest, like several contests. Okay, so 3-step contest for you will look like: step number 1, like the post. Step number 2, tag 3 friends in a post, okay, in comments. And step number 3, make sure you and your friend follow the page. Offer a valuable gift or a gift card. Okay, so if not valuable, no one will enter this contest. But in such a way, you can faster grow this follower list. Now, how to hide your hashtags? Okay. Um, yes, as I already said, you need to use at least 15 hashtags, unique and rare hashtags for one Instagram story. And how to do it? Uh, you need to type in with hashtag, yes, as many as you need in one copy in your story. Okay, so we have this copy with 15 hashtags, and then we make this copy as little as possible, like almost a dot. Okay, and then we hide it somewhere in your story on a white wall or anything else. Okay, in such a way, many people will see your stories, but no one will see hashtags in it. So I hope it's clear. So when you write a text, yes, in your Instagram stories, you use hashtag sign, yes, hashtag, and use how many, as many as you need, okay, and then you make this copy as small as possible, almost to a dot, and hide it somewhere in your story, so no one will ever know that you use these hashtags. Okay, now next. Influencers. Yes, of course, influencers, because Instagram, it's their kingdom. Collaborate with influencers on many conditions. Instagram is their kingdom. So we need to play their rules. They tag your products, unpack your boxes, and record stories and talk about impressions. Now I will show you how I search for influencers on Instagram for free. Okay, be ready to spend 1 month, maybe some less time, okay, on your research, but you will know for sure that this person is a true influencer and can help you. Okay, so first of all, we follow hashtags. I think you know that like now you can follow hashtags, and you need to do this to find your true influencer. So we follow hashtags. And of course, you need to know the brands that are your competitors. Okay, I think you know them. Now we follow hashtags to define who these brands pay for and how effective their budgets are spent. You know what I mean? So search, yep, then tags. So for example, I sell yoga outfits. Okay, so I know that my competitor is Alo Yoga brand. Okay, and I see who tagged this brand in their photos. Tip from me, okay? While scrolling this feed, choose only photos of good quality, okay? Because it will save you some time, because you will know that quality photos mean quality influencers, okay? So next, here we are. So we scroll down, yes, and check on post and engagement under this post in such a way I easily defined 3 potential influencers for my yoga clothes brand. So it's easier for me because I'm not interested in their location. I guess if I sell worldwide, if I have my online store, it's easier for me. If you are limited, okay, especially geographically, yes, in location, it will be difficult for you, but nevertheless, it's possible. So 3 influencers for my 3 potential influencers for my yoga brand. Okay, I can see that both engagement and engagement is great, yes, and copies are promotional, which means that these people are open for collaboration. How do I contact them? I tap on their profile, yep, and click on email. Here it is. So if you need some email samples to reach out to influencers, guys, just I need your attention right now. If you need some email samples like templates, okay, to reach out to influencers, let me know in comments right now in a chat box, okay, and I'll create this cheat list for you, and then, okay, in just my other blog post, I will share this cheat sheet, yeah, something like that with you. Okay, I can see that a lot of people want this template. Okay, you will have it. No worries, you will have it. Okay. Now, native ads. So we know what native ads. Okay, guys, thank you so much. Thanks for your comments. So many of them. Okay, you'll have your cheat list. Okay, we know what native ads, so what it stands for. Okay, but now in digital world, you can use it on Instagram as well, and it works incredibly well. Okay, now I'll tell you what it is and how to do this. Okay. You need to create a list of brands similar to yours, okay, and start helping each other. Just let's take a look at these 2 posts of different brands. Yes, it's let's say I sell furniture, yes, or some decor. I don't know. I create a list of potentially interested brands, but they should be huge or large, okay, which can mention my product or use my product. Very often, these magazines like Interiors by Bag, yes, platforms or blogs, they can publish and use your products absolutely for free. Okay. The only thing that you need to do is to send them your sample. Okay, something like that. Yes. So and then an Instagram post, they tag you. Okay. And if I am a follower of this magazine, and I am interested in any other, any, I don't know, any table or any sofa, any carpet, okay, I just see all the tags of this post, which is really very useful for you if you want to build your follower list. Does it make sense? I hope it does. Now, Pinterest, mood boards, and websites. If you're a retail business, e-commerce, and you don't have your Pinterest presence, do it right now, okay? Right after this summit. Showcase, not separate items, but offer them more holistic solutions. What I'm talking about. On Pinterest, people are interested. Okay, same furniture. Okay, same example. In Pinterest, people aren't interested in like items. Okay, so one sofa and nothing else. No, they are looking for solutions. So offer them design. Okay, offer them solution for their design. Show them how your product can fit their apartment. Show them I don't know, incredible rooms, sofas, use decor. So you know what I mean? It should be a picture they want to save on their boards. All pins are categorized and saved. Okay, so that's why people love Pinterest, because of easy navigation. And then created boards are seen by other users. Okay, it just in one slide or something, I will tell you what I mean. Okay. Um, You can use Pinterest for your website and suggest them to save your listings on their boards. Here it is. It's a website. I love it. It's like one of the best furniture websites ever. It's American one. So, and they have this little icon. Yes, so very often you can see hearts. Yes, like heart next to each item. So, what for e-commerce? What for this website use these hearts to grab your email. Okay, so if you are not interested in buying this product like right away, yes, you can save it, you can like it, and then to see it in the future, to see this product in your listings, yes, you should log in, you should sign up, you should leave this website your email, so it's clear. Another, so people are not very happy with this heart because it's like mandatory. Yes, you need to create an account in this website, and Pinterest is another great solution because when they tap this icon, yeah, they automatically save this item, yes, this page as a board. And what's great, because you spare a word about your product, this secret button is often neglected. People don't see it. So, and when I hit create, other Pinterest users will see my board and what I saved. Okay, does it make sense? Yes. Now Facebook, of course, Facebook. Facebook is still the big kahuna of social media marketing. It too is optimizable. So don't neglect to set it up to get your sales. So first we will set up Facebook and Facebook page, okay, appropriate e-commerce Facebook page, and then we'll talk about different types of ads, okay, different so analytics and different types of promotions and posts you need to use to make Facebook a profitable marketing channel for your business. Promotions, special offers, clearance, or maybe new arrival. You need to update covers as often as you need. You can create your covers in minutes, okay, with the different graphics editor. I do recommend you to use PromoRepublic, not only because I am a chief content marketer for this tool, but I do use PromoRepublic for all of my e-commerce clients. It's incredible because you can set different sizes for different templates. So if you need Facebook cover, you set a size and have this and have your Facebook cover ready in a minute, okay? Then different sizes for Facebook ads, for Instagram posts, for LinkedIn, okay? So you never bother how this post will look like on this or that network, okay? So update your cover as often as you need. Don't forget to mention all the important information, okay? Like time and day of your special offer, okay? Shop now button, test it, okay? Probably your audience is sick of this shop now, okay? And they never click on it. Use something else, okay? Test it. When tap on it and set analytics, okay, and choose analytics, you can see like a diagram, weekly or monthly. Use it, test it, analyze, okay, and choose your best button for this week, and then choose another one. Messenger greeting. So when they are for the first time on your page, okay, you need to grab their attention and greet them with a special message. So same as with covers, update messages according to your ongoing campaign. So when for the first time on your page, okay, they will see this greeting. It's automatically, they don't need to write anything like hi or something, okay. It's like a pop-up, okay, and it's clear. Then when for the first time on this page, on your page, they will be interested in your campaigns and what you have on sale or something like that, okay. To set this messenger greeting, you don't need developers help or any other third-party app. You can do it on your own. Guys, please let me know in the chat box right now if you don't know how to set this greeting, okay. I think that I can share my screen with you right now, okay, and show you how to do this, because first of all, you pay extra for agencies and developers, okay, because you can set it on your own, okay. So dear friends, I'm sharing my screen with you right now, okay. It will take me like a second, so please stay with me, and I will show you how to set your messenger greeting, okay. Please let me know that you can see my screen right now, guys. I need your yes, everything is okay. Can you see my screen right now? Yep. Okay, well done. So I will choose any page like this one, okay. It's a bit slow, sorry for that. Yeah, so then I go to settings, guys. So this is my page, yeah. I go to settings, here it is. Then I go to messaging. Can you hear? I'm sorry. Can you see it? Messaging. Here it is. Then I scroll down and see response assistance. So send instant replies to anyone who messages your page. Yeah, you can change it. Here it is. When you are not online, okay, your customers will get this response, okay. Save or customize. You can also add personalization, like first name, last name, full name. It depends on your product or services you provide, okay. So save. Then response time, you can change it, okay. Stay responsive when you can't get to your computer. That's what you can change as well. Yeah, personalization, awesome, save. Then next, show a messenger greeting, change. This is that message that you seen on my slide, that you saw on my slide, okay. Again, keep it to 160 characters. Okay, I will edit it a bit later. So cancel or save. So that is, once again, settings, messaging, scroll down to response assistant, and set it for your business. So easy peasy. Is everything okay, guys? Please let me know that it's clear for you and you got it. Okay. And I just stop sharing my screen. Okay. Awesome. So next, sorry for that. Yeah. Now shop in catalogs. Okay. Believe me, your followers or page visitors, they don't notice your shop unless you promote its listings. Okay. I'm sorry guys, I don't know what's going on. Okay, I think it will be okay right now. Yeah. You need to create carousel ads. You know what is carousel ad? Yes, when you showcase several products and set conversion goal. Okay, promote your shop or catalog tabs. Now we'll talk about different types of content. Make sure to diversify the content you post on Facebook. So this is the golden rule that I use. Yeah, 50% of promotions, 30% of educational content, and only 20% of engaging content. You can see curated content here. You can use curated content. You know what it is, yes? When you just use somebody else's content and you mention that this content is curated, yes? So you don't have it as yours. Curated content is not good for you, okay? At least you have this cell in Excel document and you have to fill in it with something with the content, yeah? To go live as a post next day. Curated content is good for curator, of course, yes, for the page, for Facebook page, just you share it. Don't use it for your business. You don't have extra traffic, and this content is often neglected, okay? Because curated content is not something unique or valuable that they need to even read, watch, etc. Okay, so promotions, educational content, and engaging content. So now we will talk about different types of content of post. Okay, I will show you some examples, and then we'll talk about serious, like very important things like Facebook ads, like Google Analytics, okay, Google Studio, and how to use it, when to use it, and what you can get from knowing your data, okay? Diversified visual content, promotions 50%. Here you can see an example of a carousel ad, okay? It's a carousel ad. So collections, carousels, and canvas. Keep your campaign detail visuals. As you can see, it's not just like a simple, just a post, okay? Because I customized it and I edited each image with graphics editor, and for this I used PromoRepublic. It's very easy to edit and to customize absolutely any visual and then resize it according to the network you're gonna publish your post to, okay? One tip for you. As you can see, there is probably more than 20% text in this image. Why do I do this? Because I know a secret, okay? When you create your image in graphics editor, yes, and then you have your text over it, and then you have any object over your text, and you make it like 99.9% transparent, so you can't see it. Yes, no one can. So Facebook doesn't recognize this as text, but as image. So what to do? Have as much text as you need, but okay, just be wise. And then have banner, have, I don't know, any object, but 99.9% transparent over your text, okay? And then you may have your 20%, then you may have as many percent text as you need, and everything will be okay with your ad. Does it make sense? Guys, please let me know that everything is clear and you got my message, what I'm talking about, okay? Now, we'll talk about educational content, yes, and 30%. Thanks, John. So you need to keep them interested in your post. Find interesting information, data, and statistics relevant to your business and share with them. So it's not just enough for you to share, I don't know, some random educational content. No, it should be, of course, it must be connected to your business. So if I sell furniture, okay, I think that this information, like 85% of women, yes, not women, make 85% of home renovation decisions. Yep. So people who are interested in renovating their houses, in renovating their homes, they like these types of posts, okay? And it's fun, and they would love to share this and send this post to their partners, husbands, whoever, okay? So educational content, you need to think about the message, okay, the content and the context. And no worries, with PromoRepublic's templates library, you have, I don't know how many, maybe 50 different categories of different educational posts. So it's statistics, it's data, it's some fun information, it's did you know posts. So you can go just like straight to PromoRepublic, okay, to templates library, and choose some for your business, okay. Now here it is, PromoRepublic, just for spelling, okay, PromoRepublic.com for you. Engaging content. Once a week, can you hear me? Just once a week, post quotes, inspirations, and motivations. All these types of content are good for engagement, but ads are what bring you real customers. So quotes, okay, but ads, can you hear me? Is what can you bring your customers. And now, yep, to get clients from social, you need to plan, create, promote, monitor, and analyze. For creation, I think it's clear for you. So 3 types of content. Yes, 3 types of different posts. Now we need to plan them, and you need originally, yes, like ideally, not original, but ideally, you need one instrument to coordinate all of your social media marketing, because different types of posts, especially rich media ads, are crucial for your social media success. And as I said at the very beginning, you need to synchronize your social media marketing channel with other channels that you have, okay? It can be like you post engaging quotes and fun videos on social media, like the whole time you have this account set, yes, and then you tell, no, social media doesn't work for me because I don't know why, but I have a pretty cat, yes, like let me be this. I have a pretty cat. I have a call to action, and I invested, like I said, $100 daily budget, and now they are not interested because this type of content, okay, it doesn't work anymore. You need to be very creative. You need to use Facebook Canvas, Instagram stories, and content in motion. Yep, Facebook Canvas. It's the best way to tell your brand story and promote your product on mobile. Okay, guys, how many of you use Facebook Canvas? Just let me know, because I am very interested. Okay, so Facebook Canvas, yes or not? Use it or not? Not yet. Yes, you should, Kat, definitely. Then Instagram stories. Instagram stories become the new news feed. And you remember my slide. And so 15 unique and rare hashtags. Yes, see more option, tags, 15 stories, 10 stories a day at least. Yes, so it's tough, it's difficult, I know, but social media is powerful, and if you want to make the best out of it, you need to use these different types of content, okay? And content in motion, it's something new, yes, and it receives from 10 to 30% more views and populate up to 11 times larger in news feeds. Okay, if you want to stand out, create this content. Now we will promote. Okay, deliver your ads to people who are more likely to take certain actions. Okay, make your social media ads ROI, yes, return on investment, positive. Show website visitors the product that they have viewed on your website automatically with dynamic ads. Yes, it's kind of remarketing. So don't lose your visitors. So once If you know that they visited your website, it's clear that they are interested. Don't lose them. Remind them about your product. It happens to me all the time. So, for example, I am on a website. I have my cart full, and then I recognize that, no, I have no money to pay for it right now. So, did I say it happens to me all the time? Yes. So, and not every business has automatically this automatic auto abandoned cart emails. Okay, do you have them actually, guys? Do you remind your uh, website visitors about their abandoned carts? Do you remind them? If not, do it right now. Yes, yes, yes. With Shopify, it's so easy to set. It's like, I don't know, 1, 2, 3. And they don't check their email. They don't check their mailbox like regularly. Of course, we know that. But Facebook, it's where they live. So retarget, uh, create dynamic ads, and remind them about the product they've seen on your website. Okay. And yes, another example of Canvas, how it looks. It's gorgeous. It's incredible. It's all for mobile. Uh, Use them, okay? Video and GIFs, of course. Just I wanna pause a bit, okay? Pause a bit and talk more about this. You can see that probably you need to outsource a marketer, a designer, yes, and analytics specialist to manage all this for you, because it's impossible to manage business, yes, and all these channels, because you have a lot to do. I understand that. Or you need, maybe you'll need an agency. Okay. I have a great surprise probably for you, for all the summit attendees, guys. Make sure you stay with me for several more slides, because then you'll be able, so you will get a chance to get your gift, to get your bonus, because you're a summit attendee. Yes, and this will be it will be your business analysis. Okay. You will see how to create this, what to use, what service to use, what features to use, how to schedule, how to manage, how to analyze, how to use Facebook Analytics, how to use Google AdWords, what to do with data from Google AdWords, Google, I'm sorry, Google Analytics, yes, how to use data from Google Analytics, how to use Google Studio. So what channels are important for your business, and in which channels you can't invest anymore because they are not just your channels. Okay. So let's keep going, and then I will share the link with you, and you will see, you will just grab your gift. Okay. Now, monitor. And a question, another question, guys, do you monitor mentions and comments, both website comments, mentions, reviews, feedbacks, and I don't know, social media? Do you monitor them? Please let me know and comment whether you monitor your business mentions, comments, feedbacks, and reviews or not. Because you need to discover. Okay, that's nice. Thanks, guys. Because you need to discover what people are saying online about your brand and detect sales opportunities. Okay, you need to track mentions and comments on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, and your website. Okay, now analyze. Analyze your performance and activities across Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Pinterest. Integrate your social analytics with business data to make smarter marketing decisions. Okay, you need to analyze what was successful, what was the reach, why they didn't react, what type of content they like most, what ad was effective and was not. Okay, because you, as the e-commerce, you can't invest in everything. Okay, you need to focus, you need to filter, okay, and then just improve. Okay, Facebook ads analytics. Okay, and I will tell you like right now, because the things you can see now on your own with Facebook analytics are like 20%, or I don't know, maybe even less of all of the capability of Facebook analytics, because it's so much more and you just don't know how to use it. And once again, with a special gift, with a special business analysis, our e-retail professional will tell you, will show you, will help you how to see more, how to use more with Facebook Ads Manager and Facebook Analytics. Okay, does it make sense? Facebook Pixel, yes, and I am interested again, guys. Who of you benefit Facebook Pixel? How many of you just use it, track it, guys? Facebook Pixel. With the Facebook Pixel, you measure the effectiveness of your ads. Lisa, no. Trevor, no. Okay, guys, you have to, because it's no other way to have ROAS, return on advertisement spent. Yes, like positive. You need to have it, okay, like immediately. And if you use Shopify, it's so easy for you to have it on your website, okay? And like in one slide, I will share this bonus with you, okay? And our e-retail professional, he will tell you all you need to know about Facebook Pixel integrated in your website. Okay, so just maybe some more words about Facebook Pixel. Yes, with this guy, you can measure the effectiveness of your ads. So once you advertise to past website visitors, remember we were talking about dynamic ads, yes? So pixels can also be used to track their behavior when they are back on your website. So for example, you want to target only those people who abandoned their cart. Okay, so you have a pretty nice budget, and then you go to Facebook Ads Manager and leave the link, the URL link you are really interested in, which will be like your website, then slash, then cart or something like that, whatever you have. Okay, so Facebook will show your ad only to those people who proceeded checkout, not who proceeded cart, okay, but not checkout yet. If you are interested in checkout, set it. So Facebook Pixel is very powerful and you need to have it, okay? Google Data Studio. I'm not sure whether you use it, but if you do, just let me know, okay? It would be great to know that some of you use Data Studio. So what's that? Google Data Studio transforms seemingly boring data from several sources into fun, informative dashboards and reports. In addition to default Google data sources, yep, you can now easily access unlimited Facebook pages and unlimited Data Studio Facebook reports with full editing and sharing. Yes, so I hope it's clear. I hope it was clear. So Data Studio, use it. It's incredible. Now, guys, those who oh yes, I had my camera switch off. I think I can show myself right now. Thanks for your time. So actually, it's the end of my presentation, but I have a special gift for you. Here it is. If you are a summit attendee, yes, and if I have your email in my list, you can have this chance. Okay, so what will be? We were speakers agreed that every webinar attendee, every summit attendee can have a free business analysis for his or her business. Okay, so it will be like a 30-minute personal consultation. It's incredible because it is free for you. And do you remember all this stuff about different types of ads, dynamic ads, canvas, carousels? Yes. Then all these Facebook studios, Facebook analytics, Google Analytics, all this stuff, Facebook Pixel, and you're a bit frustrated. I know, I can understand you. Same was with me, but with our retail professional, and with this 30-minute consultation, uh, you will see the picture clear. You will understand everything. Okay? Yes, Angela, just a moment. And it's all about your business. Okay? Unfortunately, Unfortunately, we have only 30 spots available because it's impossible for us just to have more people. Okay, but 30 businesses will benefit will benefit this opportunity. Okay, just a moment. I am looking for the link. Okay, so hurry up. No, it's yes. Here it is, guys. To book yourself for this free consultation, which is business analysis, you need to use this link. Okay, use it right now because, as I said, we have only 30 spots available. Okay. Yes, I've just shared the link in the chat box. Use it. It's like 2 steps registration. It will be very easy for you to have yourself booked. Okay, 30 spots available only. Yes, unfortunately, so hurry up. Okay, yeah, and just maybe some more information about this personal consultation with an e-retail professional. So you will see how to grow, how to create, and how to sell, and then all this horrible and terrifying things with Facebook Pixel, with the Facebook Analytics, with Google Analytics, with the Data Studio. Okay, it will be all about your business. You will see what it is, how to use it, when to use it, how to analyze, how to monitor mentions, and then you will see how to use and how to create this posts, different types of posts like promotional, engaging, and educational posts like in minutes. Okay, so that's it. You have this link. Make sure, please, make sure you use it because it's incredible. If I were you, I would definitely do that for my business. Okay, just treat your business with this consultation, with this business analysis. Okay. Okay, you have the link. Can we have a replay link? Yes, Tarek, of course. You will have the summit replay tomorrow or the day after tomorrow. Guys, if you have any question, feel free to ask me right now. Okay? Because in 4 minutes, we will have. I'm sorry for that, but I'm losing my voice. In 4 minutes, we'll have a 15-minute break, okay? And then, yes, and then we will meet John, our next speaker. Okay, our next speaker from WordPress. So stay with me. If you have any question, you're welcome to ask it right now in the chat box. Okay. Yes, all the webinar replays, yes, as well as PDF slides will be yours. So make sure you open my emails. So it's a lot from PromoRepublic, okay? Open them because there you will find a lot of useful and important things for your business, okay? There I will send you PDF slides, then replay, then special offers from speakers. Yes, maybe you need, I don't know, special discounts for Shopify or something. Okay. Then blog post with the answers to today's questions. Okay. So I think tomorrow or the day after tomorrow, you'll have the replay. Yes, we have a question. Okay, Eric, you will have your replay. So thanks for your time. In 15 minutes, we will have another speaker. Okay, another speaker. Yes, WooCommerce and WordPress. WooCommerce and WordPress. So how to create a potent sales copy, anatomy of promotion. Okay. So see you in 15 minutes. Okay, so what will be 1:30 p.m. Yeah, so 1:30 Eastern time. Okay, so see you in 15 minutes. Hello, John.
Hello, can you hear me?
So it was a 15-minute break, and now we are ready to continue. And our next speaker is John David Bala. Okay, and we are waiting for him, John. And if you can hear me well, please let me know. Okay.
I can hear you. Can you hear me?
Yep, it's awesome. So we are waiting for your camera on, and here's mine. Okay, so let me introduce you. So John David Bala is so John will talk about how to create a potent sales copy, anatomy of promotion, right? So John brings over 25 years of experience in marketing, software development, and business consulting for e-commerce business and Fortune 500 companies. John, it's both pleasure and honor for me to have you here. So I will just, I'm sorry, I need to.
Can you hear me?
Yes, it's awesome. Yeah, I am opening your presentation.
Okay,
Just
I don't think my camera is working.
I will try to help you. Just
Okay,
a minute,
thank you.
I think it's on right now. Yes, we can see you.
Okay,
Awesome. So you are welcome to start.
okay, thanks very much, Ala. Good to be here. And so why don't we just get right into it? Got quite a few slides to go over. So um, my primary objective here is to give away my own techniques and tools I use. And so by the end of this presentation, you should be able to just take what I'm giving you and you should be able to run and implement it right away. So hopefully you will. So what is copywriting? There's all kinds of technical definitions, but what it really comes down to is the ability to persuade people to buy, opt in, share, like, etc. through the written word, pictures, audio, video, or other media. And in addition, sometimes it's just used for branding where there's no CTA there whatsoever. We just want to build brand awareness. But the primary question that we all have to ask before we start writing any copy is, what's in it for me? That's what the prospect wants to know, and that's what we have to answer. Sometimes people replace what's in it for me with tell me why I should care. That's another one, very commonly used. And what I like to do, if any of you have had a Psych 101 class, you've probably seen this pyramid diagram, Maslow's hierarchy of needs. So I like to paste on the wall or wherever I'm working on my copy, and because what I want to do is align my messaging as much as possible with at least one of these tiers, if not more. But never try to fit a square peg into a round hole. If what you're selling does not fit a specific category, maintain your integrity and don't try to misrepresent what your product can do. So let's start with the logical starting point with any promotion, which is the headline. And for the past 4 or 5 decades now, many copywriters and actual psychologists who do experimental testing have consistently identified these 5 power words that are very effective in writing a headline. So let's go through them really quickly. The reason why you and your is so powerful is because it implicitly creates the idea that you're having a one-on-one conversation. And it's very powerful, especially when you're trying to build intimacy with a customer. Personalization is all the craze right now, and for good reason. So there's many applications for you and yours. And one that comes to mind right now on the B2C end would be a feminine hygiene product. And on the B2B end, people tend to really identify with their title in a corporation. So it becomes part of their self-esteem and part of their identity. So using a you or your in a headline for a B2B promotion is also typically very effective. Now, free is free, but it actually means a little bit more than that, because it's implying as the prospect sees that as a zero-sum game in their favor, meaning I'm going to get something and I'm not going to have to give anything back. And we know that's really not true. Typically, we're going to at least give away our email address, but that's sort of how that relationship is sort of established in the prospect's mind. And because is real powerful, because no pun intended there, what it's doing is it's providing the rationale for you. So it's making you not have to work to find out what the value proposition is. So whenever we can do the work for the prospect, including their own thinking, it's always a good idea. And excuse me, imagine, what Imagine's really doing, Imagine is actually a prehistoric idea. And I don't even say that in jest, because before we had the written word, we had the story that were passed on from generation to generation. And what the story does is it paints an ideal picture of an ideal world with an ideal product, and it invites you in. So Imagine is a really potent product for, or not a product, but an important application to that end, just for that very reason. Whenever you can tell a story and invite a customer into it, you are already kind of pulling them into your own thinking. And new implies there's information I have to have. So people like to have new information for that very reason. What am I missing out on? It also plays to their self-esteem, which they often act out on social media. Hey, guess what I just found, kind of thing. So next, we're going to go through some real-world examples of those, but with a twist. So the first one, using you. Here we have saying the phrase, I hear you, doesn't work if you follow it with this word. So what's going on there is there's a teaser here, because like, what is that? What is this special word? So it's really compelling you to click to find out. And then with this ad, free, again, used with a twist, Kim Kardashian loves getting free stuff as a celebrity, right? So we want to know what that free stuff is. Again, it compels us to click. And another twist with because coal jobs have gone up under Trump, but not because of his policies. Again, we need to click to find out what that really means. And then a little modification to Imagine using Reimagine. Betsy DeVos is helping Puerto Rico reimagine its public school system. That has people deeply worried. Again, what is that? You need to click on it to find out. And then this example with new, a couple of things are going on here. Typically in creating a promotion, we have to sell one of two things. We either have to sell quality or price. But in this case, we get to sell both, which, whenever you can sell quality and price, definitely do it. The only thing I would say, if I was writing this ad, I would have said, HMD unveils its new slate of Nokia Android smartphones starting at just $85. Okay, so what kind of tool do I use to kind of come up with ideas for headlines? I like to use Google News because Google News, first of all, is the fourth largest news portal in the United States. And if you type in anything, using quotes, you get an exact phrase search result. And what's really important about that is you can really, well, a couple of things. Once you can get really, you get really good headline ideas, but also, excuse me here, it's great for competitive research. So you can really follow your competitors and what they've been up to in the last 24 hours. Excuse me. Oops. Okay, in terms of writing product descriptions, a lot of times we get canned language from our vendors if we're a retailer. So a good little trick is to go to a product review and use their words and incorporate them into your own product descriptions. In this case, in those red box, I've identified a few. This was actually coming from a tire company. And then in terms of features, I always like to bullet my features. What is your product made of? Where is it made? How is it made? How many people have used it? Any quantifiable features, dimensions, hidden benefits, things like that. And then once you have your list, you want to translate that into benefits wherever you can. So let's say if your product is made in Allentown, Pennsylvania, and you are selling domestically around the country, one of the benefits could be, made right here in the USA. And you could actually create a nice little logo to showcase that in your copy. Here's another interesting example of what Apple is doing with their MacBook. They're basically turning a boring Me Too feature into something sort of bizarre. So I don't know what Retina re-envisioned means. And in this case, I understand why they're doing it, because they just want to grab your attention so you'll actually read the product description. So a good way to apply this really would be if you have long product descriptions in your online store, think about creating some just somewhat bizarre terms that you could use as subheads to kind of grab their attention, so they actually take the time to read all of the benefits of the product. That is especially important if you're selling, more complex products and products that may be, several thousand dollars or something like that. Oops, I think I got, excuse me here, I got just click the wrong place here. Okay, there we are. Oop, one more. Now, just to kind of give you the background of how irrational we respond to messages that are not on their surface even true. Just want to go through them real quickly here. Ad hominem is your typical name calling of another person. It works a lot in negative advertising, political ads, things like that. A good example of an argument from authority would be, well, Bill Gates said, so and so, therefore it's got to be right. An argument from ignorance, however, is, whenever you don't know the answer to a question, which is actually very common with us people, we don't know everything. We tend to have a lot of anxiety not knowing. So what we do is we just pick something that seems to make sense to us, even if it's not true. So this is used all the time in marketing. And obviously the bandwagon is everyone's doing it, so I guess I should do it too. This applies really well in providing social proof around a product with a testimonial or a 5-star ranking, things like that. Begging the question could be downright nasty. Um, Good example is, when did you stop beating your wife? What do you mean? I don't beat my wife. In fact, I'm not even married. So what's going on here is an assumption is represented as a fact, even though it isn't a fact. But as you can see, the way they frame the question, they're misrepresenting. However, this can be used very successfully in marketing. And finally, dogmatism. This really manifests well in wherever we have opinions, and everybody has an opinion. Many times our opinions are not based in anything other than it's what we believe. So all of these fallacies are common they're very common in marketing. They're used so often you probably don't even notice them. So let's look at fear as an emotion. We all know fear is used constantly in promotions, especially in political ads. But in this case, like, you could potentially serve up this ad to me. I've been doing marketing for 25 years, and oh my God, am I damaging my email list? Am I making 11 rookie mistakes? I don't think so, but now that they bring it up, maybe there's something that I'm not thinking about. I better click and see if I'm not screwing up somewhere where, I'm not even aware of. And then obviously putting the child in the background just creates a more hyperbolic contrast. And the word damaging is hyperbolic too. I've never been able to damage an email list. I might have an old email list, or maybe the subscribes are not up to date, or maybe some of my customers haven't bought from me in 3 years. That's true. But can you really damage an email list? Probably not. But as you can see, it's very effective. And that's what good headlines do, is they just sort of exaggerate to the point where they compel us to take an action. So some of the other popular attributes used in headlines and used throughout messaging. Gratitude manifests all the time in joining rewards programs, where their way of saying thank you for giving an email address is, hey, get 10% off or 20% off, something like that. Greed is actually, by definition, it's a zero-sum game in your favor, which means you don't have to do something, but you're going to get something. So you see this manifest a lot in financial products, gaming, lotteries, things like that. And guilt, believe it or not, actually is super popular among nonprofits who are, save the children, save the whales, the polar bears, things like that. Just totally tugs at your heartstrings, and you see that poor little dog in that cage, and you're like, oh my God, where's my wallet? Anger, again, super popular in political ads, but not exclusive. Like Southwest Airlines has been running a promotion for a couple of years. Not sure if they still are, but they got a good, smart marketing team who realized that people really hate paying for baggage fees, and they built a whole ad around it. They were able to, kind of exploit that anger and say, but hey, if you book a flight on Southwest, you don't have to pay for a baggage fee. Very effective. But it was initially, even though it was a positive response at the end and a positive offer, it started with playing on their anger and resentment about having to pay the baggage fee to begin with. So trust, you will see that testimonials and celebrity endorsements, a lot of times those reverse mortgage commercials, Senior living or senior services commercials, you see it a lot in. And this other one that came to mind, I just can't think of it right now. But I think you get the idea. That's why celebrities are used, because people trust them. And if you're selling a product that doesn't have a solid brand name behind it, you compensate by bringing in a celebrity to, fill the hole that you have, because you don't have the brand recognition typically. And with exclusivity, the most innovative application of exclusivity I see is if you ever go to a rock concert to see a band or rap star or something like that. Most of the artists offer a VIP pass where you can, give them a few $100, and all of a sudden you get to go backstage and meet them, be with your idol, hang out for a little bit, and get a picture for your social proof, right? Very important to our status. So really interesting and innovative application of using exclusivity to sell. And now I want to go into the greatest sales letter of all time, because I can. And this is a Wall Street Journal sales letter that generated over $2 billion in revenue. And it ran from 1975 to 2003. And a couple of things about it that really, really break the rules. First of all, it doesn't use a single picture. Second of all, there's no headline. Third of all, which I just noticed, there's no personalization. It doesn't even say Dear John or Dear Alla. It just says Dear Reader. Okay. So what is it doing? Well, it's telling a story. And basically, the story is about two guys who grew up in the same town, went to the same school, same college, went to work for the same employer, and one became the president and the other became a mid-level manager. So what's the difference as you read through this? It's actually a very long sales letter. I'm just showing you the very top of it. Well, the difference was the guy who was the president subscribed to Wall Street Journal. So anyway, I recommend highly, just Google greatest sales letter. It'll pop up right away, and study it. A lot of times there's some experts who are dissecting it phrase by phrase and showing them, what marketing element is being used here and being used there. And I use a lot of pieces from the sales letter and repurpose it into my own promotional materials. So I really encourage you to have a look at it and analyze it in a little more detail. Okay, another pretty creative and innovative way to deal with shopping carts in general and product pages. A lot of times the text, the description, just is not that exciting. It's competent, but it's not exciting. And in this case, J. Peterman and Company, they make men's and women's apparel. And I just thought this was brilliant because I just wanted to share it. They completely blew off the product description. And instead of the product description, what does it say? It says story. And they write a little micro story for every single product. Again, they're inviting you into an ideal world with an ideal product so you can imagine yourself in that world. Really, really pretty brilliant. And, you may give some thought about that and how you could apply that to your own product pages. Okay, this is pretty, oops, looks like my last revision of the presentation didn't get in, but no worries. Obviously, the timer effect definitely works for scarcity. What I meant to have here, because I found this email newsletter this morning, and it was Kohl's with a gift card. And maybe I can email it out later if you guys request it or something. It's really cool because what they do is, oh, okay, it's a gift card, big deal. You go to it, it takes you right to the shopping cart. It has one of these timers. Next to the timer, it tells you how many people bought it today and how many people bought it since the promotion's been running. So it puts that social proof right into the cart, which really helps mitigate with abandoned cart issues, especially with millennials, because there was a huge survey done with millennials, and it identified social proof or testimonials as the second most important reason for them to make a purchase. So highly recommend it, depending on what cart you're using. Find out if you can inject some sort of social proof, even if it's a 5-star review, into the actual cart itself. It'll really help it with conversions. Okay, so reciprocity is just like it sounds. You give me something, I give you something. So we see this play out on rewards programs all the time. And we give an email address, maybe a name, maybe a little bit more, and they give us maybe a 10% or 20% off discount. But there really is an opportunity today to take that to an entirely new level. And what I use is 2 plugins for WordPress and WooCommerce called Super Socializer and MyCred, MyCred. And once I set up these 2 plugins, I can give either points or money in real time for things like sharing a product page, liking a page, making a comment, or initiating a product review. It can be extended beyond that. It can be extended to watching a video, just visiting a page. You can really get pretty crazy with it. I haven't found a need to do that, but I have used it for sharing, especially for sharing, commenting, and product reviews. The really cool thing about it is it's a real-time, I would call it a rewards program on steroids. So if you share a page and it says, okay, you share a page, we're going to give you $5. You share it, you got your $5. You go and you check out, your $5 is there, visible. You don't have to hunt around for it. Right in your shopping cart, and all you do is hit the apply button, and you're good to go. So again, it's Super Socializer and MyCred, but I know there's other ones out there, but just kind of giving you the one that I currently use and I'm very satisfied with. So now, I just want to talk a little bit about the importance of aligning visuals with text. This one, you're going to see, what are the differences? On the left, you got the baby looking forward. On the right, the baby's looking toward the ad copy. And obviously, there's a heat map applied to it. On the left, the only piece of red is right on the face of the baby. It never goes anywhere. On the left, you still have it on the face, but you have it all over the ad copy and all over the CTAs. So by just making this one little tweak to your pictures, you can get a lift. I've seen it like around the 5% increase range. I don't know if there's any hard data on what you can expect on average, but you definitely, this is pretty much the proof. You're going to definitely get a lift by just making this one subtle change to your ad copy. And the same thing here, except we're just using eye contact. Both women are just looking at the CTAs, and that's it. Now, in this next example, completely different. Here's a Facebook ad. And in this case, I was marketing a Botox treatment. And first problem with Facebook is it's really hard to get the person, the subject in the picture to look up or down. So obviously we just have her looking straight forward. But a point and worth noting is if you're taking if you're taking photographs or you have a photographer doing it for you, always get all the angles. Get the front view, get the person looking up, looking down, looking right, looking left. That way you're going to be good to go wherever you end up creating your promotion. So you're going to be able to have a picture, a version of that picture where they're looking at the actual CTA. So anyway, a couple of tricks I used here. Some of them are not terribly exciting, but very effective. Book now, mentioned it twice. Save $100. Repetition again, twice. Limited time offer. Everyone does it, but it still works. But finally, what is kind of a trick is the phantom post option, which a lot of people using Facebook don't even know it exists. If you do, you're ahead of the game. But by using the phantom post feature, you'll see in this ad, there is no sponsored by label at the top of the ad, which helps with its authenticity. Anyway, this ad was great. It got a 10% click-through rate, 23% conversion. So just kind of an example of, there's nothing fancy going on here, but at the same time, it's really, really effective. Okay. This one we already kind of covered. It was when I was telling you about the Kohl's gift card. Whenever you can put social proof into your cart, it's really going to help with your conversions, get people off the fence. And what I like to do is, next time you go to the grocery store, you got a real shopping cart, and pay attention to how often you'll put something in the cart and then you'll put it back. You probably do it more often than you think. And if you're a total marketing geek like me, you're going to actually pay attention to other people putting stuff back. The only point I'm trying to make is I think there's a perception that there's something seriously wrong if you have, abandoned carts at 10% or something like that. It's not necessarily true. But what can definitely mitigate it is, an example like this, putting some social proof right into your shopping cart. And again, especially for millennials who weigh that factor very, very high in making a purchasing decision. This one I already covered pretty much. It's fairly redundant at this point, but the only point to make here is always show the savings. I like to show it numerically and percentage-wise, and my criticism of this ad would be I would use a different font for the discount and the savings, probably red, just to create more of that contrast to support the savings they're getting. Okay, so finally, how am I doing on time here, guys? Ella, okay? Anyway.
Yes, John, just take your time. Everything is okay.
Okay, thank you. All right, so we talked a little bit about the Wall Street Journal sales letter. Although different, here's a good example of a classic sales letter being applied to today's real world. So it all starts with, in my view, if no one can find it easily, it's not worth too much. So oftentimes when we're writing copy, we're also doing SEO at the same time. In fact, we should be. So in this case, this particular product is ranked. It's actually ranked number 3 in organic listings in Google, only behind 2 Home Depot links. So pretty awesome results in the search engines. So let's have a look at the actual copy itself. So here's the top of the page. You got a video with a title, and above the video and directly below the video, you just got benefit, 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 benefit. So in terms of video, I know there's a lot of people who believe incorrectly that you got to spend a lot of money. You got to make a slick video to for it to be effective. This video is 30 seconds long. It features the inventor demonstrating the product, and I just worked with his wife to create a script. She narrated herself, did a great job, and the whole thing was used on an iPhone. And believe it or not, for selling something as mundane as a folding sawhorse, this currently has over 1.1 million views on YouTube. So it really worked well, and I'm really happy for them. So let's have it look at some of the other pieces of this sales letter. So directly below the video, I used the tab feature to create a contrast between features and benefits. So the specs is the label for the feature, and why hide a horse question mark is the benefit, and you got to click on it. So I'm engaging the prospect a little bit there to participate in seeing the contrast between features and benefits. Also, asking the question, why hide a horse, in my view, is a lot more engaging than simply benefits. People respond whenever they're asked a question. Your neurons start firing more than they were. So that was the thinking behind that. Then after that, just a ton of, I'm only showing 3, but I think there's 24 testimonials, one after the other, after the other, after the other. And with these long sales letters, the classic sales letters, we really don't expect people to read the whole thing. It's just to impress them with all the marketing cred we have for this product. And again, you often have to do that if you don't have a really big popular brand. So that's one great way to compensate. And then underneath there, simple standard value comparison. You know, hide a horse has all the checkbox. The competition only has a few checkboxes. And then finally, it is culminated with a nice little friendly letter from the inventor himself, with a picture of him smiling and his real original signature, which really adds to the authenticity of the whole value proposition. And you know, because he was the inventor of this product, and the fact that a customer can really identify with the inventor, was why we made the decision to have him put his story into this. Anyway, this promotion has been running for at least 3 years, and it's probably just going to keep running for years. The rankings are great. It sells really well. So one thing to keep in mind, if you haven't done your kind of classic sales letter, it's worth giving it a try. As you know, just creating a custom landing page or something like that, because it does make it easier to rank well too. And you don't have to get fancy. I mean, all I'm doing here is H1, H2, H3, alt tags, meta description, and you know, tagging the images. That's all I did. Everything else was just free flow copy. Okay, so to wrap it up, I'm just kind of going to go through the list of tools and resources I typically use. And the first one might make you laugh, which is fine. I save my junk mail, and I also subscribe to a lot of newsletters. And I primarily do it because I like to just play around with it when I need to come up with some ideas. And I just look at them and I just like, woo, what pops here? You know, pictures, headlines, how are they presenting the CTAs, selling propositions, things like that. And then Google Alerts, which is sort of like a close relative to Google News. It's free. You sign up, and any kind of topic you want. I would start with your competitors and topics that are important to your business. Set up an alert, and Google will give you results, which the results are coming from Google News, so everything's pretty fresh, like within about 24 hours. So it just kind of takes that, it makes you be proactive, right? So instead of like, oh, it's been a couple weeks, since I, was kind of like had my thumbprint on the competition real well. This way you just set it up, and if you don't have time, you can just hit the delete button. If you do have time, there it is. Google News, I already went over. Not sure if I mentioned it before, but if you have a blog, definitely submit your blog to Google News, because there's a lot of second-tier news sources that use Google News as their primary source of information. So you got an awesome opportunity to get syndicated with your blog post, and develop your links accordingly, because now you got a chance to get that backlink juice from these posts. So it can help out with SEO, and there is some degree of a viral aspect to it that, again, you just have to set it up once and just let it roll. Let it run. Google surveys, use them a lot. I actually have a post that PromoRepublic is going to be posting on their blog about how to write irresistible headlines that I use for that purpose and many other purposes. So in this case, I have a client who is a maid service, and her office manager said, just kind of wondering, well, I wonder how important having green cleaning products would be for us in Chicago. So I just did a quick survey. Cost $10 to get 100 respondents, which I think is a pretty reasonable amount of money and a big enough sample size to be meaningful. And sure enough, it wasn't that big. 7.3% preference. To identify with that. But you got to put this in the context of the actual business, and if they're looking at a 7% potential increase in business, it surely justifies creating a green product page on the site. So I'm a pretty evidence-based guy. I like not to guess. So whenever I can let the facts tell me how to act, it's certainly my preferred way. And let's see. Global Web Index. I mentioned there's a couple of mentions about millennials and how they really love customer reviews or any kind of social proof. Well, this just blew me away. If you look at this diagram, millennials are just crazy mobile users. And as you can see, a lot of them aren't even using a desktop. So what this means is if you're selling millennials, you want to make sure your mobile funnel is really, really optimized. And this research was just delivered to my inbox. So once you sign up for Global Web Index, it's free to sign up. You'll get these reports emailed to you every day. And again, if you don't have time or it's not a topic you're interested in, it takes 2 seconds to hit the delete button. But again, I like to be proactive. I like stuff to be pushed out to me, and then I can determine whether it's important to me to look at or not. Similar web, free and paid versions. Again, this is great for getting stats on your competitors' websites. And as you can see, it's broken down by channels: direct, referral, search, social, mail, and display. What it also does is it'll show you the keywords they're going after on the organic side as well as the paid side. And then finally, SEM Rush, pretty similar to SimilarWeb, no pun intended there. A little fancier, a little bit more data, but way more expensive. Almost $100 a month. What I would recommend is they have a free version. Do the 7-day trial, and then determine whether that information is valuable enough to you to justify $100 a month. And if it isn't, that's fine. Just go back to SimilarWeb. SimilarWeb is still really, really good information. And that's it. Thank you very much. If you'd like a copy of this presentation, I actually include a couple more case studies and a few other tips and tricks. And if you want it, just shoot me an email, and I'll be happy to send it your way. Ala, are you
Yes,
there?
I'm back. Yeah, thank you so much. It was so interesting, and actually, I have so many questions and so many inquiries. Like, oh, I need this deck. Oh, I need the slides. Oh, please send me the slides. Oh, please send me the slides. And you just didn't see all of these comments, but it's awesome. And people are leaving their emails to be sure that they will have this slides.
Good. Cool.
So it was so informative, and I have 3 questions from you, which I just copy pasted.
Okay.
Okay. Yes, I will just insert them here in a chat box for you to see them.
Okay.
Okay, so in other words, guys, everyone, everything's okay, and you will have the slides tomorrow. I promise you. Okay, stop doing it. You'll have the slides, John. It's a triumph. Okay, questions. Angela asks, what application do you use to get the heat map?
Okay, great question. That was not a particular piece of content that I actually generated. So it was just there to be informative for the presentation. Here's what I way I would answer that question is, go to YouTube and just type in heat map, and you'll get a bunch of different vendors. You also get scientists and neuroscientists and all that stuff too, which is really cool because if you're a geek like me, you want to understand all the science underneath it. But I am not currently using a heat map.
Okay, so next question from Maria. How did you, John, do a phantom post?
Right, so let's see if I can go on memory. Basically, once you log in to your ads manager, on the upper left corner, there should be some kind of a drop down which says posts. And click on posts, and then you're going to see the option for a phantom. They call it a phantom post, but it's a phantom ad. That's how you get it. So you can't find it by just going into the front end of Facebook and just creating a new post. Like a normal user, you won't find it that way. You need to go into Ads Manager, and then upper left-hand corner, there's going to be a bunch of different options where you can find your Media Manager and your Pixel Manager and all that stuff. There's going to be a post option, and then you can select it from there. So what it does is 2 things. It can you have the option to have it as a regular post to your friends list and your subscribers, or you can make it just exclusive for the audience you've selected to mail it to push it out to.
Okay.
Does that help? That help?
Yes, definitely. Actually, I visualized everything, so that's left corner and Dropbox, everything. Yes, thank you very much. Yes, it was my fault because I haven't updated this recent presentation because the service didn't let me do that. Okay, because everything was like said already. Yes, just guys, I want to let you know how thorough John is, and he updated his presentation several times because, as he said, just today in the morning, I received that email with that, and it's incredible. And I want to show you. Thank you so much. You will have this opportunity, I promise you. So I just can't wait to publish your first post for PromoRepublic. Yes, for PromoRepublic Social Selling Academy. It's a masterpiece, guys, believe me. So next week, next Monday, it will go live, and you'll just enjoy it. So many examples, print screens. It's awesome. Guys, if you have any other questions, please feel
Just
free to ask.
a comment here. Hotjar says that heat Hotjar is popular for heat maps. So cool.
Yes. Yeah, thank you. Oh, another question from Neil Carnett. David, can you say it?
I can see it, yes. Okay, as a nonprofit, we are 100% focused on solving our followers' needs, challenges, and ambitions. Okay, I understand pieces of the question, but not entirely. Can I ask Neil what specific kind of ad is he running? And by static traffic, do you mean like a blog post or something like that, or are you talking more about A/B testing? I'm not sure what your question is. Okay, copy success on website blog. Well, I mean, the best starting point I would say is Google Analytics for that, and especially if your blog is being pushed out, which again I highly recommend if you're not doing it right now, is submitting your RSS feed to Google News for that. Let's see, your bounce rate under 30%, which is depending on your market, that looks like a very good number. Let's share your perspective. I can answer the last part here. In terms of social media shares, how much weight would I give shares? A lot. I love shares because, and I'm glad you asked that question because I'm not all that excited about likes. I think there's a huge difference between somebody liking a page and someone sharing it, because they're making an investment in their reputation when they share something. They're saying, hey, my friends who I think look up to me, I have, vetted this piece of information and determined it's worth sharing with you. So for that reason, it's real important, but it's also, there's a viral aspect. Anytime somebody shares, you don't know how many times it's going to be shared after that. Plus, you get all the link juice from Google. So there's just like sharing, you can get, with one share, you can get 4 or 5 benefits out of it. I hope that answers your question.
Yes, it was more than clear for me. So I hope yes. Guys, if you have any question, I think it will be okay if you reach John via this email. Is it okay, John? Because you have it on reply. Yes, guys. That would be nice. So thank you very much. I will text you right after the summit. Okay.
Okay. Yeah, and like you said, I'll let anyone feel free if you got some additional questions, just shoot it to me about this or eventually related topics. Love to help if I can.
Awesome. It's very kind of you. Thank you very much. I wish you a very nice evening.
Thank
Is it
you.
evening, afternoon? What time
It's
is
the
it now?
afternoon right now. I think the sun should be up by you at this point. Congratulations on the
No, it's
sunrise.
yes, it's 7:25 a.m. and I missed sunset. Yes, I should get the blanket up. Okay, John, thank you very much. And our next speaker is David from Ninja Outreach. See ya. Bye bye.
Bye. Ciao.
Ciao. Okay, so our last but not least, yes, speaker is David Schneider. He's a co-founder of this company. Yeah, he's a co-founder of Ninja Outreach and an all-in-one influencer prospecting, outreach, and CRM software for marketers. Unfortunately, David couldn't come today to speak live. Okay, but no worries. We have his presentation, his replay. Yes, it's a recording, and we'll be able to watch it right now. Okay. Uh, and I just want to remind you that both slides, yes, all the PDFs from 5 speakers, along with the summit replay, it's a huge one. As I can say, it's like 3.5 hours, but it's awesome. You will get in my email tomorrow. So don't miss email from all from PromoRepublic, and you'll have it tomorrow. So now, David Schneider, co-founder of Ninja Outreach, will talk about influencer marketing. So how to build brand exposure and expand your reach in social media. I just need your help, okay? Please let me know if you can see my screen, okay? So, please let me know, like right now, if you can see my screen, guys. Can you see it? Like right now, my desktop. Yes, yes. Okay, awesome. So let's watch it, okay, and then we will talk a bit.
That people getting value in other ways. And to do that, we're going to have to break a few misconceptions about influencers. So, what is it that they like to do right? These days, influencers usually do basically their work full time. It's really a job title. It's not just like a side business or a hobby for influencers. They spend all their time working on delivering content and building up an audience. Which is why, as I said before, it makes sense to pay them for their work because it really is a job. Additionally, people tend to think that the job is easy, that they just need to look good, snap a couple of shots, and then they look like they're living that jet-setting lifestyle. But to be honest, it really is quite a lot of work. In fact, most influencers are underpaid. And while it may seem like a lot of money to pay someone a couple $100s for a quick campaign, what you have to understand is you're really paying for not just that one quick campaign, but you're paying for all the other work that they're doing outside of basically that one moment, all the work that gets spent into building up an audience to make it even worthwhile. Therefore, influencers are really just like any other medium of advertisement. It's only fair to treat them that way and pay them accordingly, whether that's monetarily or via some sort of compensations that, maybe non-monetary. For example, access to an affiliate program where they could earn based on the sales they refer, or maybe a free product, certainly something that was valuable. That is basically the different ways to provide value to influencers, to essentially pay influencers, and that's just going to give you some additional benefits such as control over the campaign, power to review the posts, insights into performance, and hopefully powerful results as they make referrals. So the big question, part one: what are the tactics I can use to get promoted on social media? We're going to be covering a few different approaches such as product reviews, sponsored posts, and recruiting affiliates. Let's start with product reviews. As online consumers, we rely on what other people say about a product in order to gain better insights, and this affects our buying decision. In fact, I was just talking to my girlfriend today, and she was noting how common it is to really research for reviews before you buy anything. We were looking at new mattresses, for example. So product reviews are very powerful. What they are is, it's essentially a review of a product. It's essentially a person's opinion of a product. The more influential that person is, theoretically, the better exposure you're going to get. And if you're paying for that product review, I'm kind of jumping ahead a little bit here, but basically that's what a sponsored post is. It's essentially paying for a product review. And oftentimes the influencer has to disclose that this product review was sort of purchased or funded by such and such organization. So product reviews essentially are extremely powerful because everybody's looking for them online. If before they buy something, they're going to say product review of XYZ mattress. So how do you kind of evaluate, product reviews, whether or not it's going to be valuable as something that you want to make part of your marketing activities? Well, primarily you're looking at the influencer themselves. Obviously, the quality of writing is important, but we kind of assume that these people are professionals, so it's less of a factor. We're looking more at their social media followers across different platforms, or maybe in a platform in particular. For example, if you feel like Instagram is where the majority of your audience should be, then you'd be looking for an influencer with a large Instagram following. And then on that particular platform, you might be looking at their engagement rate. Now, the engagement rate may not be a sort of a metric, so to speak, that is readily available like followers. You can kind of see the number for followers. Engagement rate might just be you sort of looking at their profile. Do you see a lot of likes and comments and activity? And then finally, traffic, especially if this is on blogs. It's not really possible to know the traffic to somebody's Instagram profile, but you can certainly look at the traffic to their blog via Google Analytics. So, those are some different ways to kind of value an influencer's future contribution. And you should know that essentially the better these metrics are, the more they're going to cost, and you're going to have to pay for that or give away your product for free. Sponsored posts, as I mentioned before, is essentially a product review that you've paid for. So is it worth it? Well, that really depends on you. I've heard people talk about really making a killing with sponsored posts. I've heard, excuse me there. So I've definitely heard a lot of people say that influencer marketing was what really made their campaign pop, and I've heard other people say they spent hundreds of dollars and got nothing. Unfortunately, it is difficult to tell, and you really do have to make some tests by running a few to kind of see how it works for you. So, let's talk about, for example, an example campaign from Rescue. They did a buy one, get one free campaign where influencer bloggers like A Close Horse and a girl named PJ published sponsored posts highlighting their experiences with the product. The result is that the campaign yielded impressive results, including 133 million social media impressions and more than 6,000 clicks to the coupon site. The brand saw a 258% increase in their Instagram following and also managed to be the #4 nationally trending topic on Twitter during the campaign. So in this case, absolutely worth it. We have an example of an established brand working with top-of-line influencers to drive clicks to their coupon site. So it sounds like this really paid off for them. Recruiting affiliates. Let's talk about that. An affiliate is someone who promotes or helps sell someone else's product and service in exchange for compensation in the form of commissions. So are influencers affiliates? Well, they certainly can be. They don't necessarily have to be, because if they're not actually making commissions based on sales, they're not technically an affiliate. But it's very much so that an influencer could become an affiliate. They could join an affiliate program and help promote a product and earn commissions. Now, recruiting an affiliate is generally free because they make money by sending you sales. They make a commission, so they don't have to be paid outright in general. That said, you do want to, just because they're free, you may be putting in time to get them set up on the program. They're still going to be representing your brand, so you want to consider the following. Whether or not, of course, they're the right fit to be a part of your affiliate program. And then, of course, it's also important to make sure that you have the right affiliate platform so you can track sales and make, payments very easily. I know at Ninja Outreach we've had multiple affiliate softwares because it was difficult to find one that really did everything that we needed it to do. Additionally, think about your affiliate offering. So what percent are you going to give them? At Ninja Outreach we give them 50-50, which is quite high. But I've seen a lot of other affiliate programs give something like 10 or 20%. And then, of course, just think about what affiliates are going to be the best ones for you. So in terms of Ninja Outreach, definitely, as I mentioned before, the affiliate program has been a significant source of signups. This is a screenshot of the dashboard. I believe we use Post Affiliate Pro. That's the software we use and recommend. But of course, there are many out there that you can take a look at. Before Post Affiliate Pro, we used to use OSI. But you can see the decent amount of clicks, impressions, and sales from our affiliates just in the last month. So moving on, after having discussed the various product review sponsored posts and affiliate program. And we have talked about how it's important to compensate influencers unless they're, of course, earning commissions. Let's talk about how much influencers usually charge, the big question part 2. We're going to be talking about different social media platforms. We're going to be talking about blogs, and then we're going to be talking specifically about Instagram because that one kind of stands alone as being very popular nowadays. So general social platforms like Facebook and Twitter. These are often used as applications for supporting influencers. Normally, they are linked to the influencer's Instagram and blog, and therefore published simultaneously. So it isn't too often that we find Instagram influencers who are thriving specifically on Facebook and Twitter only. But I will say that I've definitely come across influencers who are getting paid for sponsored tweets or sponsored posts on their Facebook just on having large enough followings there. But usually, the expectation is that an influencer will promote on Facebook or social or Twitter because just along with the entire campaign. The reason that you don't see as much people kind of focusing on Facebook and Twitter is the engagement. The engagement that we're seeing right now from Instagram is significantly higher than what we see on Facebook and Twitter. A lot of people have Twitter accounts, but they're not that active on them. They maybe just get so many notifications. But people are really living on Instagram nowadays. So that's why you see that one kind of stand alone. That said, more or less, if you want to know how much we think it kind of costs to get a sponsored post on Facebook and Twitter, in our experience, it's around $50 to $100 per post. Now, that might be maybe a series of a couple of posts. For example, for 3 tweets and 3 Facebook shares, it'll be something like $50 to $100. It's not often just one, but it's not as expensive as many other things influencers will charge for. But you're not getting as much, and it's not as much work for them because it's fairly easy to, tweet something. but that's approximately where they lie. As for blogs, there's a lot of different factors to sort of consider. With Facebook and Twitter, more or less the engagement and the size of the following. But with a blog, it might be the length of the post that they write, the amount of research they have to put in, the web authority of their blog, so how much essentially link juice they're going to be sending you, or previously that was sort of like the page rank. Nowadays we kind of look at something like domain authority to give an idea of kind of how much web authority the website has in Google's eyes, and of course web traffic, because this is ultimately the number of people that are going to be seeing the post. So let's talk about an example scenario of where we adjust the length of the post and we include some research. Let's say you're looking for a write-up of maybe 300 to 500 word blog post on a DA22 blog. By the way, this is not really that large. 300 to 500 words is not too long, and a DA domain authority 22 blog is not that high. So in this case, we're thinking maybe the ballpark could be something like $50 to $150 on the high end. That's because it still does take this person's time to, write the article, do the research. Sometimes you supply the content yourself, and that can obviously decrease the cost of working with an influencer in this case. But this is certainly overall going to be on the low end based on what you're asking them. Let's talk about a high traffic example website. Let's say you want a write-up of 500 to 800 words on a DA50 blog. So this is obviously a longer post, and the domain authority is a lot larger. 50 is a really significant domain authority. I think Ninja averages is in the 50s. So it really tells you that the authority is quite high. In our research, the ballpark figure is going to be about $300 to $500. Again, it doesn't mean it couldn't be lower, and it doesn't mean it couldn't be higher, but that's probably about what it's going to cost just for everything that you're sort of getting there. So again, how do you know it's worth it? Well, that's up to you. For some businesses, $300 to $500 is not that much. Their marketing budget can be thousands, tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of dollars per year. But for a small mom and pop shop, that might just be unaffordable and therefore not advisable. In short, you have to really measure your requirements against, the determining factors to decide if it's a fit. It's a fair pricing for both parties based on your budget, and do you feel like based on the exposure you're likely to get, that it's going to be worth it? Based on our experience, we think the low end is going to be around $100, and the high end tends to be around $500 for most blogs. Now let's go over to Instagram. And first, let's take a look at the world's top influencers. We have some people here about what they charge. On the left, we have YouTuber and Instagrammer Zoella, and she charges $14,000 for a sponsored post on any of these websites. Her Instagram following could definitely be in the hundreds of thousands, if not millions. And then, we have a couple other girls and guys here who are all charging, around $10,000 to $20,000 per post. It's a lot of money. But I'm sure these influencers have built up, extremely impressive following. So this tells you kind of the high end of what you can expect. But some brands really do. They want to work with the best. They want to say, I want to work with the best YouTubers and Instagrammers. Well, this is what you should be prepared to pay if that's the case. To be honest, it can obviously even be higher. Especially what you're asking of them. For example, I had spoken with one person who said that they were spending, they had a budget of $50,000 for an Instagram influencer. Now that person was going to sort of spend the weekend, and they were going to attend an event, and they were going to be sort of vlogging, all about the event on YouTube, and then posting pictures on Instagram. So it was kind of a whole weekend, not just a single post. But still, $50,000, a lot of money. How do you determine the price? Well, again, there's no formula for this. You're going to take a look at the followers, the growth rate, the engagement rate, the audience that you see. At the end of the day, you don't really determine the price. The person tells you how much something is going to cost, and you have to decide whether or not you think it's worth it. So, for example, let's take a look at this graph. As you can see, the more followers they have, the more you're going to pay for posts. So a rough guide is if there's less than 50,000 followers, it might be around $250. if it's, and then it's maybe $1,000 per 100,000 followers. So, there you see at the higher end there, 1 million plus followers could easily be, $1,400. And I think that, it's even maybe a bit more exponential than that, to be honest. I think that, as you can see from the previous examples, you're looking at, sponsored posts of tens of thousands. So definitely, it can get to quite a lot of money there. But overall, for most cat follower accounts, you're looking in a couple $100 range, unless you're going to the really, really high-end people. As for growth rate, you can take a look at the influencer's growth rate over the course of a year. This chart shows an influencer that had an increase of like over 1,000%, meaning over the course of 1 year that their follower count grew by 1,000%. So they can also ask a higher price because they're getting this this growth rate basically. By the way, there's such a thing as faking it. So here's what a fake growth rate can look like. You see that one day when all of a sudden they just gained 60,000 followers. That it basically means they purchased those. It just doesn't really make sense that they would just kind of shoot up just like that. Of course, anything is possible. It's possible that they got featured on some really high traffic site or on the news or something like that. But in general, it means they probably purchased their followers. Engagement rate. Here's a good gauge of an average engagement rate relative to the number of followers. So let's say, for example, 2,000 followers, 6% engagement. That's going to result in about 120 likes. And if it's 1 million followers from 1.5% engagement, that's going to result in about 15,000 likes. So the healthier the engagement, the higher the price demand because they're getting you more impressions, more engagement, basically. So this gives us, in general, the more followers you kind of expect a lower engagement rate just because the more followers one has, generally they tend to be a bit less engaged, less active, a bit more tire kickers. But the net can definitely be more. So just think about with Instagram pricing, how does the post motivate the consumers to act? How do they have a history of selling out an item? Do they have a history of selling an item because they posted it? Do some research to find out about how their past, posts have performed and how audience have reacted, towards it. That will give you an idea of maybe whether you think that what you're likely going to get in return is going to be worth the price. So for example, a dog food brand Pedigree targets several key influencers, including Christine Cole, to promote their campaign to humanize their brand. And this social post helped Pedigree increase their media value by 1.3x and achieved 43 million impressions. So that is the potential impact of an influencer. And what we see on the right is sort of what these posts look like. This is what Christine Cole, posted. You can see, she's very, it's a very clear promotion. It's an advertisement. She's mentioning Pedigree in the post. She has a relevant picture. This is, it has almost 1,000 likes. So this is sort of probably one post of many that she made. In short, determining how much to pay an Instagrammer depends on engagement, authenticity, impact. But you're looking at $50,000 to $20,000 per post. But like I said, more likely a couple $100 in that range. And we'd say based on our experience, the average Instagram influencer usually requests $50 to $100 for an Instagram post if they're a very micro influencer with only 500 to 5,000 followers. Which, unless they have crazy engagement, it's not likely to send you necessarily a ton of traffic, in just one post, but, you can always do multiple. In conclusion, how do you know which tactic is best for your business? Well, it depends on your budget, your niche, your target, whether Facebook, Twitter, or Instagram is the best for you, whether you want to be on a blog post and you want to get that link juice from Google, that is really up to you. So, the best is if you have enough of a budget that you can experiment and to see what works. And, here's a summary of the average prices per network that we talked about earlier. And as for the key factors that determine pricing, it's really who the influencer is. The more followers, engagement, site visitors, the more they can demand. If it's a blog post, how long is it, and does it require research? Because that really is really kind of asking for the time of the influencer there, and how healthy is their page or website or blog. Instead of organic growth and traffic and a lot of engagement, you get what you pay for, realistically. The more money you pay, the more likely you're going to get in terms of traffic and impressions and sales. But it doesn't mean that you're always going to, the ROI is going to be different. It's going to be absolutely different. So thank you. I'm glad. I hope you liked the presentation, of learning a bit more about influencer marketing, how it applies to brands, and the different types of tactics that you can use, social media, blog posts, diving into these different networks, and giving you an idea of pricing, which is really one of the biggest questions that we have is how much does this cost? It's certainly not it's not necessarily cheap. And it does take time to find these influencers. That's why Ninja Arts exists, to try to decrease how long it takes. But if you have additional questions, feel free to shoot an email over to David Ninja Arts. And I hope you enjoyed this presentation. Thank you very much. Hey everyone, Dave here from Ninja Arts, and today we're going to be having.
No, stop. Okay, I'm back. Okay, I hope you enjoyed the presentation by David Schneider from Ninja Outreach. I'll stop sharing my screen like right now. Okay, if you have any question for David, okay, feel free to leave it here in a chat box, and then in a blog post. Okay, David will answer all the questions. Just I copy pasted from this mailbox. Okay, can you hear me well, guys? Yeah, I'll give it this. His email, please. Yes, sure, I can. Just a minute. Okay, just a minute. If you have questions, it will be faster, like much faster, if I redirect this to him. But it's okay if you want to contact David. Okay, just a moment, and you will have his email. Okay, and yes, here it is. Copy address. Please enjoy. Here it is. Use this one to reach David. So it was the fifth speaker for our virtual e-commerce summit 2018. Now I'll just share some useful links with you. Okay, PromoRepublic's community on Facebook is the place where I share all the important updates, free copies, blog posts, recent updates. So if you want to be updated with everything, okay, please join this community. Here it is. The link is in the chat box over here. Okay, so please join PromoRepublic community on Facebook. And yes, all the PDFs, yes, the slides, decks, replay, this summit recording, it will be yours. So no worries, tomorrow or maybe the day after tomorrow, we'll have it. I just want to remind you about the special offer, a gift for all the summit attendees. Okay, here it is. So as I already said, together with all the speakers, we agreed to gift you a special free 30-minute personal consultation with the e-retail professional. So if you remember my presentation, I was talking a lot about different types of content. Yes, about what exact post you need to use for promotional campaigns. I was talking about Facebook Analytics and Google Analytics, yes, Data Studio, Facebook Pixel. If you want to understand how it can help your business, if you want to analyze your business with our professional, you can do this absolutely for free. if you are a summit attendee, of course. Spots are limited. Yep, only 30 available for now. So hurry up to book yours, because as I checked, I am not sure whether we have something left, but there is a link for you to use it. Okay, you will see one platform from PromoRepublic, and you will see how to create these different types of content, and then how to analyze both social and website metrics. Okay, I think that's all. Thank you guys. Thank you very much for your time. Thanks for coming. I hope you enjoyed. Okay. At the end of the summit, at the end of the summit, like in a minute, you will get a chance to review. Yes, to leave your feedback in a form. Please do this because I'm interested. I really need to know all your feedbacks and reviews to start creating our next summit for e-commerce as well. Join PromoRepublic community on Facebook. There is the link in the chat box below. Please check it. It's the first link. The second link goes to your personal 30 minutes consultation with an e-retail professional. Thank you. Thank you again. See you next time in your mailbox or in Facebook community. I wish you all a good and productive day. So you know how to reach me. I will leave my email here as well. So it's PromoRepublic.com. PromoRepublic.com. Here it is. Okay. So see you next time.